Namaskar everyone and welcome to the day 5 of this 5 days Project YugParivartan Global Summit 2022. Today is the concluding day. We have 4 eminent speakers lined up like all other days, followed by a session wherein we will explain how you can become part of Project YugParivartan Synergy platform. And this communication would be not only for the people who are coming for the first time, but for the existing people, existing SLDP graduates as well. So based on which path, which membership type suits you, we can discuss about the next steps.
It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our first speaker of day 5 of the 5-day summit, Shri S.S. Upadhyay ji. Shri Shyam Shankar Upadhyay has been a district and sessions judge in Uttar Pradesh. He has served as a judge in district judiciary in different capacities in several districts of Uttar Pradesh, and he has also served as additional director of training at the Institute of Judicial Training and Research, Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow. He has trained judges, magistrates, police, jail authorities, public prosecutors, and others in legal and judicial matters. His services for providing training in legal matters to the administrative officers of various levels are also solicited at the Uttar Pradesh Academy of Administration and Management, Lucknow. He has delivered more than 7,000 lectures on several important law subjects at the judicial training academies of various states, at the Lok Nayak Jai Prakash Narain Institute of Forensic Sciences and Research, New Delhi, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University, Lucknow, and also at several other universities in India. He has prepared valuable reading materials for judges, magistrates, public prosecutors, jail authorities, police officers on various law subjects, which have been published in many journals, brochures, magazines, and books. He has authored 5 books, one of which is titled The Governor's Guide, Powers and Functions of Governors under the Constitution of India. The second one, University Law in India. Third, Law of Disciplinary Proceedings in India. Fourth, Life and Legacy. Fifth, Dictionary of Urdu, Arabic, Persian words as used in courts. The said books have been published by world-famous law publishers such as LexisNexis and Thomson Reuters, and have been appreciated by the Honorable President of India, judges of the Supreme Court of India, high courts, and other constitutional dignitaries. The said books are available on Amazon and Flipkart for online purchase. Many articles written by him on different subjects on social, literary, religious, and spiritual importance have also been published in several magazines of different organizations in different states of our country. He has delivered lectures on various law subjects to the teachers of various universities of India under the UGC-sponsored refreshers programs. From 2011 to 2018, Shri Upadhyay served at Raj Bhavan, Lucknow, as legal advisor to 3 honorable governors of Uttar Pradesh. He will be speaking to us on the theme of reforms required for effective governance of India in the 21st century, which is direly needed to develop the golden age infrastructure. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our first speaker of day 5 of Project YugParivartan Global Summit, Shri S.S. Upadhyay ji.
Welcome, Mr. Upadhyay.
Namaskar to all of you.
Namaskar ji and welcome.
I was just watching a very beautiful beneficial session of yoga you were conducting. It was quite impressive, and you were making people learn in a very easy manner how meditation should be practiced. On some other occasion, I would like to learn from you how meditation can be practiced in a meaningful and beneficial manner, and that too in a very short time. Right, let us come to our session today. As you know, you have allocated a subject to me, title whereof is Reforms Required for Effective Governance in India in 21st Century. I am again repeating the subject, Reforms Required for Effective Governance in India in 21st Century. Before I embark upon this subject, what should be the reforms in Indian system of governance today in 21st century? I will take you through the past system of governance in India in ancient times. You know, as per Indian mythology, the life of the universe is divided into 4 ages, 4 different yugas, ages. The Satyuga or Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga. The current one is the Kali Yuga. The Indian mythology divides the life of the universe into 4 parts: Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. It's now 2022, and it's part of the ongoing Kali Yuga. The system of governance in all these 4 yugas had never been uniform. The needs of the society existing in all these yugas were quite different, and so was the system of governance. I would like to refer the system of governance first that was prevalent in the age of Satyuga, what is also called Krita Yuga, the first age of the universe. I am quoting a verse from Mahabharata which describes the system of governance that was prevalent in Satyuga. That verse reads like this: Na rajyam na cha raja set, na dando na cha dandika, dharmedaiva prajah sarve rakshanti sma parasparam. Na rajyam na cha raja set, na dando na cha dandika. In Satyuga, there were no empires, no nations, no states, no royalties, no kings, no rulers, no administrators, no laws, no law enforcers, no courts, no judges. I'm again repeating. In Satyuga, there was no empire, no king, no law, no court, no judge. Then what was the regulation of the society? Then whether the society that existed in Satyuga was having no regulations? No, that was not so. It was a well-governed society, even without a defined empire, even without a king, laws, codified laws, and law enforcing agencies and courts and judges. Then what was that regulation in Satyuga? Dharma. Dharma had always been there in India, ever since there was and there has been the existence of humans in this country. Mahabharata verse says, Dharmedaiva prajaah sarve rakshanti sm parasparam. People used to protect each other by observing dharma. When there were no courts, no judges, no codified laws, no empire, still dharma was there. People ardently observed dharma and as habit used to protect each other. They did not invade the rights of others. They were not threats to others. They used to respect the rights, dignity, and life of others because they were the followers of Dharma. Dharma was so deeply imbibed in their lives, in their personality, that they used to guide themselves in every walk of life all the time by Dharma. So let us know what was this Dharma. The Dharma that is prevalent today. Was the meaning of the Dharma the same, which in modern times we do know what does this word mean? No, not at all. In ordinary parlance in modern times, and even in terms of the Constitution of India, Dharma means religion, manner of worship, manner of expression of faith, devotion to God, into deity, or in anything which one prefers to worship. But in Indian tradition of thoughts, Dharma has never been understood in the sense of expression of faith, expression of loyalty, belief to any deity, God or goddesses. Dharma always meant in Indian tradition of thoughts a righteous code of conduct of humans, humanitarian and moral values, ethical values. In short, you can say proper conduct, proper behavior. Mahabharata again says, Atmanam pratikulani paresam na samacharet. An act, a conduct, a thought, a view which you do not like to be done to you, you must not do it to others. That was a value which was uniformly shared by all people in Satyuga. When people, by their innate habit, used to respect the dignity of others, rights of others, lives of others, property of others, then obviously there was no necessity for laws, for law enforcers, the kings, the police, the judiciary, and all other branches of governance, which we generally see in all countries in modern times in the world. So then the conclusion that we can draw from the system of governance prevalent in Satyuga is that if human beings observe proper code of conduct, if they respect humanitarian values, moral values, ethical values, if they have respect for the rights of others, there would be no turmoil, no clash, no conflict. A law is needed, a court is needed, a judge is needed, law enforcing agency like police and others are only needed when there are clash of rights, clash of interests, when there is immorality, dishonesty, inhuman tendency and practices, only then laws are needed. In modern times, there has been a very popular proverb in Europe. If a society is having too many laws, it only indicates that the society is too much corrupt, disorderly. An orderly society that loves to abide by humanitarian conduct, ethical values, moral values, respect others, their rights and dignity, that society would not need any law. So the best age of the human race, human civilization on this earth was there in the Satyuga. The society which existed during those periods did not require any law, any code, any system of governance. The system of governance was there within the habits of people, by their innate habit that was there in their conduct behavior, that was regulating the humans individually and the society collectively. So the best period which is known to the humanity as regards the complete observance of rule of law, orderly behavior, was the Satyuga, which has been described by scriptures in our country. Na rajyam na charajasit na dando na dandika dharmedaiva prajaah sarve rakshantisma parasparam. They used to protect each other by just observing dharma. I'm again repeating, dharma doesn't mean manner of worship, manner of expression of faith. No, not at all. One is free to opt any kind of expression of faith in the manner he or she likes. He is free. Even Constitution of India today guarantees this freedom to all the citizens in this country. It was also available in the times when there was no constitution like ours, which we are having today. The dharma was there, righteous conduct, proper conduct, humanitarian conduct and behavior was the source of all sorts of laws. People then needed no set of laws, a separate code. Then came the Treta Yuga. After Satyuga came the Treta Yuga, the Yuga of Lord Ram. Since soon after the Satyuga expired, the impact of Satyuga was also seen during Treta Yuga. If you simply go through the Ramcharitmanas composed by Goswami Tulsidas, you will find a very beautiful narration of the kind of governance the kind of society that was there in Treta Yuga during Ram's period. Goswamiji describes in Ramcharitmanas, सब नर करहि परस्पर प्रीति चलहि स्वधर्म निरत श्रुत नीति. सब नर करहि परस्पर प्रीति चलहि स्वधर्म निरत श्रुत नीति. That means in Treta Yuga during Ram's reign, people lived in complete harmony with everyone. Not only harmony between human and human, harmony with the nature, flora and fauna, with the entire nature. When a human society knows to live in complete harmony with co-humans, with the nature, with the fellow creatures on this earth planet, obviously there will be no clash, no turmoil, no conflict, and everyone then will be leading life happily. Goswami ji records, nahi daridra ko dukhi na dina, nahi ko abudh na lakshan hina, daihik daivik bhautik tapa, Ram Raj kahu ne vyapa. Why will people suffer when they are law-abiding, when they observe righteous code of conduct, when they believe in human values, what the Veda had, Rig Veda had taught in this country thousands of years ago, Manurbhav, which means before becoming anything else, oh humans, let you first become noble human beings. Manurbhav. Noble human being, if a person is a noble human being, he will be free from all worldly vices, human weaknesses. The reason behind all the conflict, all the clash in our society, in the world, is the absence of noble qualities in our lives, human qualities in our lives. We have gone much, much away from our ideal conduct, behavior, righteous conduct and behavior. Humans have ceased to respect the life, property, rights, dignity of co-humans. And there lies the genesis of all sorts of clashes, which is plaguing the entire humanity in modern times. Ram's period was also an ideal period as regards the governance. I would quote one verse from Uttar Ramcharitam, that is a Sanskrit work done by Acharya Bhavbhut. He was an 8th century Sanskrit poet from Maharashtra. He has written this book in Sanskrit, Uttar Ramcharitam. He says, and the event relates to the day when Ram returned to Ayodhya after 14 years after conquering Sri Lanka. Not Sri was not there, only Lanka was there. After triumphing over Ravana, killing him, he came back to Ayodhya. A coronation ceremony took place in Ayodhya. He sat as king of Ayodhya. On day 1, when he became king, his younger brother Lakshman inquired from Lord Ram, King Ram, not Lord Ram, King Ram. The brother, so far we were there in the jungles. We had to suffer a lot of miseries for long years, 14 years. Now this is your day one as king of Ayodhya. So far, you had so much affection for me, for your servants, for Janki ji, for Hanuman, for others who were associated to you. Today as king, your responsibilities are perhaps quite different. How would now you behave with us as king of Ayodhya? Ram smiled, King Ram smiled and replied to Lakshman on both records. Sneham dayam saukhyam cha yadiva jankim आराधनाय लोकस्य मुंचतो नास्ति निदथा. Lakshman, I will kick out that person whom I so far loved the most, for whom I had the highest affection. I will not hesitate in kicking him out from Ayodhya, from my empire. If he becomes an obstacle on my path in serving my people, in doing the welfare of my people, if he becomes an obstacle, I will kick him out. Who was that fellow for whom Ram had the highest affection? The Lakshman himself. Hearing this message from Ram, Lakshman got stunned. He was visibly shaken. Oh, he is now a changed man, a different man. He is not that Ram whom I knew so far. In fact, Ram was telling to Lakshman the functions, the duties, the responsibilities of a ruler. As a ruler, Ram was passing a message to Lakshman that there would be no room for nepotism, favoritism. Anybody, if tries to come closer to me, to interfere with the matters of the empire, affairs of the administrative affairs of the empire, he will have to bear the brunt. He will be kicked out from my empire. Then Ram says, Sneham dayam. He says, all those on whom I had so much kindness, I used to shower so much kindness, generosity so far, Naukar Chakar, servants. They must be cautious now. If they too try to interfere with the administrative affairs of the empire, they will not be spared. They all would be kicked out from Ayodhya. Then Ram says, Saukhyam cha, luxuries. He says, all these luxuries which have been put around me for my enjoyment as king of Ayodhya, I tell you, Lakshman, that I will throw out all these luxury which has been compiled around me. If these luxuries do become an obstacle in the performance of my duty as king. And even Janki then says, Jankim up. Ram says, I will kick out even my wife Janki, Sita ji, if she creates any obstacle in the performance of my role as king. Later on, what happened with Sita ji in Ayodhya? She was ousted from Ayodhya by King Ram. She had to go to jungle. She spent her rest of life there. The story is quite different. I will not elaborate and not go into the details of that piece of event. You know all. Aradhanaya lokas. Ram says, Aradhanaya. Ram says, as king, I am not sitting here just to rule over the people. I have to worship my people. I have to serve my people. I have to do aradhana, worship of my people. Just like a devotee serves his deity in the manner, I will serve my people of Ayodhya, my subjects in Ayodhya. And if anybody becomes an obstructionist in my duty, in performance of my duty, I will kick him out and will have no remorse, no repentance. Lakshmana got distant, got his message, and kept quiet. What is the message from this narration, which Acharya Bhavabhuti has described in his Uttar Ramcharitam? What sort of ruler a king Ram was? There has been no greater democratic ruler in the world than Ram. Ram was the first democratic ruler of the world. You just analyze the verse which Bhavabhuti has recorded, the message which Ram has passed to the people of Ayodhya. We will come to know a truly Democrat who lived democracy truly, who knew the spirit of democracy, in whose personality, life, democracy was so deeply imbibed that the humanity has till date not seen any other greater Democrat than Ram. But what happened to the personality of Ram in later centuries, in later millennia? Poets declared him to be a deity, a god, an avatar, and this noblest quality as ruler, as a Democrat ruler, first Democrat ruler of the world, got lost somewhere in the history. The preachers, the discoursers, devotionists, admirers, writers, thinkers, all got swept away. They could hardly highlight this noblest personality of Ram. We could not represent to the world the true message of democracy that was once adopted for the first time on this earth by a ruler, by a king called Ram of Ayodhya. So let us spread this message to the rest of the world that democracy did not advent in Europe, in England, in America. It had long back advented in human society in India, in the empire called Ayodhya, during the reign of Ram. If such a message passes to the rest of the world, people will gradually come to realize that the democratic thought is not a Western thought. The system of democracy of governance is not a Western system. It was born at a point of time in history in India itself. We were a democratic society, a great democratic society, long, long back in Treta Yuga. And you ask the pseudo academicians, pseudo intellectuals of this country, they will loudly tell you, we borrowed democratic system of governance from Europe. how long we will miss all that which was there in India long back? Who will tell to the world? Who will represent the core human values, noble values of governance to the world if we do not do it? Through your summit, through your conference, this message should pass to the people. You are the first democrat on earth. You are the first human society who were the first democrats which the human race had produced. The sort of rule that Ram gave, I just narrated to you. The message that Ram had passed to Lakshman was that there must not be any conflict of interest with the ruler. In modern times, our democracy, not only of ours, but world over where democracies are functioning, they suffer from a very big vice, and that is called conflict of interest. Corruption, favoritism, nepotism, all are the vices of democracy. Dark and bad side of democratic system of governance. King Ram was very much cautious. There must not be an iota of conflict of interest in his democratic rule in Ayodhya. Therefore, he was passing this message to a person, to a family member of his, whom he loved the most. Next day, Ram called an assembly of his people, of his subject. He declared the directive principles of his state, the principles which he would follow to govern his people of Ayodhya. People gathered in his assembly. He bluntly told people, you don't treat me a tyrant, a dictator. Here is a ruler, a king, who is fully democratic by conduct, by behavior, by temperament, by action, by function. Goswami Tulsidas records in his Ramcharitmanas. जो अनीति कछु भाखों भाई बरजो सब मिल भय बिसराई. Perhaps it is Uttarkhand. Ram asked his people in his assembly, my dear brothers and sisters, I am your king, but you don't feel afraid of me. I am here to serve you. Do anything which is anti-people, which is contrary to your welfare, detrimental to you, you must stop me, you must check me. Prevent me, forget, don't be fearful. You people physically come and prevent me. Hold my hands. Don't allow me to do anything which is contrary to the interest of people of my empire. Just imagine, just compare the Ram's this bold declaration with the sort of ministers, with the council of ministers, with the sort of rules and regulations and system of governance which we are having today. Which minister in this country will allow you, if I take any anti-people decision, please, Prasad, come to me, prevent me physically. He will make you land in jail. He will ask his agencies to file countless FIRs and will make you to face a lot of. So just compare to what sort of democracy we are today and what sort of democracy was there in Ram's period. Which one was the greater, truly democracy? The democracy which we are having today or the democracy which we had in Treta Yuga? Brothers and sisters, forget we are having today any ideal democracy. Ideal democracy is nowhere to be found to any part of this world. Degree of difference is there. Somewhere the quality has deteriorated so much. It has gone very down, and somewhere only to a certain extent. But ideal democracy is nowhere in this world. Conflict of interest, corruption, favoritism, nepotism, these are vices of democracy. But still, a democratic system of governance is rated to be the best governance known to the society, known to the humans. But let us make effort. We are able to learn from Lord Ram.
In fact, it's a good revelation today that even during the kingdoms, at the time of Rama, it was democracy. So it was not just Vanshvad, but Rama was that reformer of the previous YugParivartan in which he started the democracy. Very good learning today. So Abhi Padya ji, we have got our next speaker ready और उनका time हो गया है. So I think there is a need for a 2 hours dedicated interactive session with you. So what we will do is we will announce a time based on your availability and have a 2 hour session wherein we will have audience asking questions also on this, because it's
I could just complete 30% of my subject.
That's why I'm saying we require a full session.
Dwapar, what was the system in Dwapar? Then what happened in Kali Yuga, and what is happening in 21st century, and what are our options?
Correct. So we'll keep.
But you have constant time. Then all right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to have a dedicated webinar wherein we will ask questions also, because it has generated a lot of curiosity. So we may be needing that. Thanks a lot. और अभी आप बने रहिए, हमारे जो बाकी स्पीकर्स हैं आप उनको भी सुन सकते हैं और एंड में पैनल पे हम क्वेश्चंस भी ले सकते हैं कुछ.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. So with this, we have our second speaker of the day ready, Dr. Ved Pratap Vaidik ji. So I would like to invite my colleague, Anita Budraja ji, to introduce our second speaker of the day.
Thank you very much, Shri Upadhyay ji, for showing us that righteous conduct and respect for co-humans should be of utmost interest for us. और आपने बहुत अच्छे से हमें ये याद दिलाया that democracy did not exist in US or Europe before India. In fact, democracy started in times of Ram Rajya. Thank you very much for throwing light on such a interesting subject. And अब दिन के दूसरे वक्ता डॉक्टर वेद प्रताप वैदिक जी का परिचय कराना मेरे लिए सम्मान की बात है. डॉक्टर वेद प्रताप वैदिक की गणना उन राष्ट्रीय अग्रदूतों में होती है जिन्होंने हिंदी को मौलिक चिंतन की भाषा बनाया और भारतीय भाषाओं को उनका उचित स्थान दिलवाने के लिए सतत संघर्ष और त्याग किया है. महर्षि दयानंद, महात्मा गांधी और डॉक्टर राम मनोहर लोहिया की महान परंपरा को आगे बढ़ाने वाले योद्धाओं में वैदिक जी का नाम अग्रणी है. पत्रकारिता, राजनीतिक चिंतन, अंतरराष्ट्रीय राजनीति, हिंदी के अपूर्व संघर्ष, विश्व यायावरी, प्रभावशाली व्यक्तित्व, संगठन कौशल और अनेक क्षेत्रों में एक साथ मूर्धन्यता प्रदर्शित करने वाले अद्वितीय व्यक्तित्व के धनी डॉक्टर वेद प्रताप वैदिक का जन्म 30 दिसंबर 1944 में इंदौर में हुआ. उन्होंने अपनी पीएचडी के शोध कार्य के दौरान न्यूयॉर्क के कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी, मॉस्को के इंस्टीट्यूटो नोरोदेव आजी, लंदन के स्कूल ऑफ ओरिएंटल एंड अफ्रीकन स्टडीज और अफगानिस्तान के काबुल विश्वविद्यालय में अध्ययन और शोध किया। उन्होंने जवाहरलाल नेहरू विश्वविद्यालय के स्कूल ऑफ इंटरनेशनल स्टडीज से अंतरराष्ट्रीय राजनीति में पीएचडी की उपाधि प्राप्त की। वे भारत के ऐसे पहले विद्वान हैं जिन्होंने अंतरराष्ट्रीय राजनीति का शोध ग्रंथ हिंदी में लिखा। उनका निष्कासन हुआ और वे राष्ट्रीय मुद्दा बने। 1965 से 67 में संसद हिल गई। डॉक्टर राम मनोहर लोहिया, मधुलिमय आचार्य, कृपलानी, इंदिरा गांधी, गुरु गोवलकर, दीनदयाल उपाध्याय, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी, चंद्रशेखर, हिरेन मुखर्जी, हिम बरुआ, भागवत जा आजाद और प्रकाश वीर शास्त्री, किशन पटनायक, डॉक्टर जाकिर हुसैन, रामधारी सिंह दिनकर, डॉक्टर धर्मवीर भारती, डॉक्टर हरिवंश राय बच्चन, प्रोफेसर सिद्धेश्वर प्रसाद जैसे लोगों ने वैदिक जी का डट कर समर्थन किया। सभी दलों के समर्थन से वैदिक जी ने अपनी पहली विजय प्राप्त की और नया इतिहास रचा। पहली बार उच्च शोध के लिए भारतीय भाषाओं के द्वार खुले। वैदिक जी ने अपनी पहली जेल यात्रा सिर्फ 13 वर्ष की आयु में ही की थी। हिंदी सत्याग्रह के तौर पर वे 1957 में पटियाला जेल में रहे। बाद में छात्र नेता और भाषाई आंदोलनकारी के तौर पर कई बार जेल गए। भारत चलने वाला अनेक प्रचंड जन आंदोलनों के सूत्रधार बने। अनेक राष्ट्रीय और अंतरराष्ट्रीय सम्मेलनों का आयोजन किया। राष्ट्रीय राजनीति और भारतीय विदेश नीति के क्षेत्र में सक्रिय भूमिका निभाई। कई भारतीय और विदेशीय प्रधानमंत्री के व्यक्तिगत मित्र और अनौपचारिक सलाहकार बने। लगभग 80 देशों में की कूटनीतिक और अकादमिक यात्राएं। 1999 में संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ में भारत का प्रतिनिधित्व किया। इसी वर्ष विस्कॉन्सिन यूनिवर्सिटी द्वारा आयोजित दक्षिण एशियाई विश्व सम्मेलन का उद्घाटन किया। पिछले 60 वर्षों में हजारों लेख और भाषण दिए। वे लगभग 10 वर्षों से पीटीआई भाषा हिंदी संचार समिति के संस्थापक संपादक और उससे पहले नव भारत टाइम्स के संपादक यानी विचारक रहे हैं। फिलहाल दिल्ली के राष्ट्रीय समाचार पत्रों और प्रदेशों और विदेशों के लगभग 200 समाचार पत्रों में भारतीय राजनीति और अंतरराष्ट्रीय राजनीति पर डॉक्टर वैदिक ने लेख हर सप्ताह प्रकाशित किए। अनेक अंतरराष्ट्रीय सम्मेलनों में भारत का प्रतिनिधित्व किया और आकाशवाणी और विभिन्न टीवी चैनलों पर 1962 से आज तक अनगिनत कार्यक्रम दिए। बहुत सी उन्होंने पुस्तकें लिखी और रची, जिनमें अफगानिस्तान में सोवियत अमेरिकी प्रतिस्पर्धा, अंग्रेजी हटाओ क्यों और कैसे, हिंदी प्रतिकारिता विविध आयाम, भारतीय विदेश नीति नई दिशा संकेत, एथनिक क्राइसिस इन श्रीलंका, इंडियाज ऑप्शंस, हिंदी का संपूर्ण समाचार पत्र कैसा हो, वर्तमान भारत, अफगानिस्तान कल आज और कल, महाशक्ति भारत, भाजपा, हिंदुत्व और मुसलमान, कुछ मित्र और कुछ महापुरुष, मेरे सपनों का हिंदी विश्वविद्यालय, हिंदी कैसे बने विश्व भाषा, स्वभाषा लाओ अंग्रेजी हटाओ आदि पुस्तकें हैं। अनेक राष्ट्रीय और अंतरराष्ट्रीय पुरस्कारों और सम्मानों से विभूषित है श्री वैदिक जी, जैसे कि विश्व हिंदी सम्मान 2003 में, महात्मा गांधी सम्मान 2008 में, दिनकर शिखर सम्मान, पुरुषोत्तम टंडन स्वर्ण पदक, गोविंद वल्लभ भाई पत्र पुरस्कार, हिंदी अकादमी सम्मान, लोहिया सम्मान, काबुल विश्वविद्यालय पुरस्कार, मीडिया इंडिया सम्मान, लाला लाजपत राय सम्मान आदि अनेक न्यायिकों संस्थाओं और संगठनों में सक्रिय रहे और अध्यक्ष रहे भारतीय भाषा सम्मेलन एवं भारतीय विदेश नीति परिषद के। तो देवियों और सज्जनों, आइए हम डॉक्टर वेद प्रकाश वैदिक जी का प्रोजेक्ट युग परिवर्तन ग्लोबल समिट 2022 में स्वागत करते हैं। प्लीज वी वेलकम यू हियर ऑन दिस।
बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका वैदिक जी।
मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि युग परिवर्तन आपने विषय रखा है, लेकिन अति व्यस्तता के कारण मैं इस विषय पर कोई गंभीर तैयारी नहीं कर सका, लेकिन फिर भी विषय इतना अच्छा है कि मैंने बोलना स्वीकार किया। अब जो जो मुद्दे मेरे दिमाग में आते हैं अभी, वो आपके सामने मैं रखूंगा। मेरा ये कहना है कि इस समय सारे विश्व की व्यवस्था में बहुत से बुनियादी परिवर्तनों की जरूरत है। सबसे पहला परिवर्तन तो ये होना चाहिए कि परमाणु शस्त्रास्त्र जितने भी हैं उनको समाप्त करने के लिए विश्वव्यापी अभियान चलना चाहिए। ये एक ऐसा काम है जिसके नहीं होने पर इतनी बड़ी विशाल दुनिया 8 बिलियन लोगों की एक क्षण में नष्ट हो सकती है। ये हम 1945 में देख चुके हैं और उसके बाद जब जब विस्फोट हुए हैं, जब जब ये परमाणु भंडारों के, परमाणु शस्त्रागारों के कुछ गड़बड़ियां हमने सुनी है, कैसा विनाश चेरनोबिल और कई जगह हमने देखा है। तो अगर वास्तविक युद्ध हो जाए जैसे कि आजकल चल रहा है, और देखें धमकी बराबर आती रहती है। यूक्रेन में एक स्थानीय युद्ध है, लेकिन वहां भी धमकियां आती रही। और आप देखें कि चीन भी बराबर अपने परमाणु हथियार घुमाता रहा। तो कभी कोई सन की राष्ट्रपति या प्रधानमंत्री किसी देश का हो गया और उसने बहक कर एक भी परमाणु बम चला दिया, सारी दुनिया को खतरा हो सकता है। इसलिए परमाणु निरस्त्रीकरण की बात जो पहले किसी जमाने में बहुत जमकर उठी थी, आजकल एकदम ढीली पड़ गई है। तो इस आंदोलन को चलाना चाहिए, और ये आंदोलन सिर्फ नेताओं को समझाने से नहीं होगा, क्योंकि नेता किसी भी सरकार के हों वो अहंकारग्रस्त हो जाते हैं। वो ये समझते हैं कि सारी दुनिया की दिमागी ताकत उन्हीं के पास है और वो जो भी फैसले करते हैं बिल्कुल सही करते हैं। इसलिए उनको समझाना बड़ा मुश्किल है। इसके लिए बड़ा एक जन आंदोलन चलना चाहिए। सारे देशों में हमारे लोगों को चाहिए कि प्रबुद्ध लोगों को जोड़ें और उनमें ये चेतना पैदा करें कि विश्व में परमाणु निरस्त्रीकरण को लागू करें। पहली चीज। दूसरी चीज जिससे कि सारा विश्व नष्ट प्राय हो सकता है, वो है पर्यावरण का विनाश। पर्यावरण का किस कदर विनाश हो रहा है, इसका आप छोटा सा उदाहरण इस गुड़गांव को ले लीजिए। दिल्ली के पास जो गुड़गांव है, कहते हैं कि इससे बढ़िया कोई शहर और भारत में है नहीं। एक हद तक ये बात सही है। इतनी शानदार बिल्डिंगें बनी हुई हैं, सड़कें बनी हुई हैं, पेड़ लगे हुए हैं और संपन्न लोग, सुशिक्षित लोग यहाँ रहते हैं। लेकिन आप देखें कि यहाँ प्रदूषण का स्तर क्या है, 500 है, 500। जबकि अमेरिका में और दूसरे देशों में 50 होता है। 50 होता है तो उसके अंदर हल्ला मचने लगता है, 50 से भी नीचे होता है। तो ये दुनिया जो खतरा महसूस कर रही है, ये पर्यावरण के नष्ट होने से कर रही है। और उसका कारण हमारे सारे देशों में, यानी भारत जैसा जो देश है, जो दुनिया के सबसे प्राचीन देशों में से और सभ्यताओं में से एक है, वो भी उपभोक्तावादी हो गया है। यानी आप देखिए कि सिस्टम चाहे कम्युनिस्ट हो, चाहे सोशलिस्ट हो, चाहे वो कैपिटलिस्ट हो, सारे सिस्टम जितने भी हैं, जितनी व्यवस्थाएं हैं दुनिया में, सब उपभोक्तावादी हो गए। वो प्रकृति को चूस चूस के खा जाना चाहती है। उसका परिणाम क्या है? वृक्ष नष्ट हो रहे हैं, प्राकृतिक सुषमा नष्ट हो रही है, और जो मनुष्य के जीने के लिए एक स्वाभाविक साधनों की जरूरत होती है, उन सब की घोर उपेक्षा हो रही है। कितना एयर कंडीशनिंग का काम चल रहा है, आप देखें, कारें एयर कंडीशन है, घर एयर कंडीशन है, दफ्तर एयर कंडीशन है, और उनसे जो गर्मी पैदा होती है वो सारे वातावरण को गर्म करती है, पौधों को जलाती है। कोई हम ये कोशिश ही नहीं करते हैं कि प्राचीन काल क्या, अभी 60 70 80 साल पहले तक जैसी व्यवस्थाएं थी कि मकान ऐसे बनाए कि गर्मियों को बर्दाश्त कर सके, आजकल सारे मकान वहाँ उजालदार होते ही नहीं, आजकल खिड़कियां भी लगभग नहीं के बराबर। तो ऐसी स्थिति में मैं समझता हूँ कि पूरे संसार में एक जन आंदोलन की जरूरत है। ऐसा जन आंदोलन चाहिए कि जिसमें हम ये कर सकें कि पर्यावरण की रक्षा के लिए, पेड़ लगाने के लिए, पशु पक्षियों को बचाने के लिए और प्रकृति को एक मायने में संरक्षित करने के लिए बड़ा भारी जन आंदोलन चले। सिर्फ सरकारें ये काम नहीं कर सकती। सरकारें अगर कोई नीतियां बना भी दें तो उनका उल्लंघन करने में, कानूनों को, नियमों को तोड़ने में जनता बहुत सक्षम होती है। जनता में अगर जागृति होगी तो पर्यावरण बचेगा। तो दूसरा काम ये करें। तीसरा काम जो और भी जरूरी है कि हमारे सारे संसार के लगभग 200 देश हैं, 200 बल्कि छोटे मोटे और भी देश हैं, तो इन सब देशों में लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था हो। लेकिन लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था कैसी हो? जैसा लोकतंत्र हमारे यहाँ है वो तो भेड़तंत्र में बदल गया है। जाति के आधार पर लोग वोट देते हैं, छोटी मोटी रिश्वतें लेके लोग वोट देते हैं, मजहब के आधार पर वोट देते हैं, उन के आधार पर वोट नहीं देते। तो ऐसी व्यवस्था बननी चाहिए कि सारे देशों में वर्ण भेद, रंग भेद, जाति भेद, ये सब जो भेदभाव हैं और इन भेदभावों के चलते जो थोक मतदान की प्रणाली चल पड़ी है, उस पर रोक लगे। उसके बारे में विद्वानों को, जो राजनीति शास्त्री हैं, जो संविधान शास्त्री हैं, विचार करना चाहिए कि क्या किया जाए। तो लोकतंत्र को और मजबूत बनाने के लिए हमें छोटे देशों से, जैसे स्विट्जरलैंड है, उनसे सीखना चाहिए। हमारे भारत के अंदर जो प्राचीन गणतंत्र हुआ करते थे, उनसे सीखना चाहिए कि कितना शासक पर जनता का, शासितों का कितना अनुशासन मजबूत था, वो हमको लागू करना चाहिए। इसीलिए जैसे स्विट्जरलैंड में व्यवस्था है, रिकॉल की व्यवस्था है, प्लेबिसिट की व्यवस्था है, जनमत संग्रह की व्यवस्था है, सारी इस तरह की व्यवस्थाएं हमारे देश में और दुनिया के दूसरे देशों में चलना चाहिए। और इनको प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए पड़ोसी देशों में जहाँ फौज तंत्र है, जहाँ कुलीन तंत्र है, उन तंत्रों पर उनके अंदर चुनाव, वो तो प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनियों की तरह चल रहे हैं। वो लोग की मर्जी से कोई नेता बनता नहीं है। आजकल तो भारत में लगभग सभी पार्टी, कोई भाई भाई पार्टी है, कोई माँ बेटा पार्टी है, कोई भाई बहन पार्टी है, कोई बुआ भतीजा पार्टी है, कोई मामा भांजा पार्टी है, सारी पार्टियों, कोई चाचा भतीजा पार्टी है, सारी पार्टियों का हाल यही हो गया है। तो वो जब पार्टियों में आंतरिक लोकतंत्र नहीं है और प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनियां बनी हुई हैं, तो बाहरी लोकतंत्र कैसे रहेगा? तो पार्टियों के अंदर भी उनकी कार्य पद्धति को सुधारने के बारे में संवैधानिक प्रावधान होने चाहिए कि एक ही परिवार के लोगों को ये जिस तरह से घर का व्यापार आदि विरासत में मिल जाता है, इस तरह से न मिला करें। उससे बहुत खराबी पैदा होती है, उससे लोकतंत्र का विनाश होता है, लोकतंत्र की जड़ें उखड़ जाती है, पार्टियां नष्ट हो जाती है। आप देखिए कई पार्टियां जो बनी, प्रादेशिक पार्टियां, भारत में समाप्त हो गई। कांग्रेस का क्या हाल हो रहा है? वो भी एक पारिवारिक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी बन गई है। तो इसलिए लोकतंत्र को मजबूत बनाने के लिए और बहुत से बातें हैं जिनको सारे संसार में फैलाया जाता है, जैसे कि सानुपातिक प्रतिनिधित्व है, प्रोपोर्शनल रिप्रेजेंटेशन, जैसे जर्मनी वगैरह में होता है कि वहाँ लोगों को जितने वोट मिले हैं उसके आधार पर प्रतिनिधित्व होता है। हमारे यहाँ संसद का क्या हाल? संसद में हर चुनाव के अंदर 30-40 लोग भी ऐसे नहीं होते कि जो स्पष्ट बहुमत से जीत के आते। जितने कुल वोट पड़ते हैं, पहली चीज तो कुल कितने वोट पड़ते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि हर चुनाव क्षेत्र के अंदर 100 लोग वोट देने वाले हो तो 80-90 वोट पड़ते हो, ऐसा नहीं है। उनमें भी 51% वोट मिलने वाला उम्मीदवार कितना कम होता है। पूरी संसद में 25, 30, 50 सदस्य भी ऐसे नहीं होते हैं जिनको पड़े हुए वोटों का 51% वोट मिलता हो। कई तो ऐसे सांसद होते हैं कि 25-30 सांसद लड़ रहे हैं एक जगह से, वो उम्मीदवार चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, अगर किसी को 15% मिल गए तो चुन के आ जाता है। तो ये हालत के और दुनिया के कई संसदीय लोकतंत्रों की है। आपके मेरे ख्याल से बहुत कम प्रधानमंत्री ऐसे हुए हैं। यानी जब प्रधानमंत्री ही भारत का ऐसा बनता है और देशों का बनता है कि जो अपने इलाके का, अपने निर्वाचन क्षेत्र के 51% मत अपने पक्ष में नहीं ले पाता है और प्रधानमंत्री बन जाता है। यानी जवाहरलाल नेहरू को भी कभी 51% मत नहीं मिले। तो ऐसी हालत में लोकतंत्र कैसे चलेगा? और फिर जैसा मैंने पहले कहा कि जो ठीक से काम नहीं करे उन सांसदों, विधायकों और पार्षदों को बीच में से ही वापस बुला लेने का इंतजाम भी सब जगह होना चाहिए। और भी लोकतंत्र में उसके हाथ मजबूत करने के लिए बहुत से सुधारों की जरूरत है। उन सब पर आज यहाँ इस भाषण में उन सब बातों को कहा नहीं जा सकता है। ये तो हुई मोटी मोटी बात। बड़ी बात यह है सारे संसार में कि गुर्बत बहुत बढ़ रही है, गरीबी बहुत बढ़ रही है, असमानता बहुत बढ़ रही है। दुनिया के 20-25 देशों को छोड़कर आम लोगों को खाने पीने तक की भी पर्याप्त सुविधा उपलब्ध नहीं है। उनको शिक्षा उपलब्ध नहीं है, उनको चिकित्सा उपलब्ध नहीं है, उनको रोजगार उपलब्ध नहीं है, उनको भोजन जैसा चाहिए वैसा उपलब्ध नहीं है। तो ऐसी दुनिया तो हमारे सामने बहुत बड़ी चुनौती उपस्थित कर रही है। कई लोगों के पास असीमित अपरंपार संपत्ति है और कई लोग बिल्कुल विपन्न है। तो उनके लिए क्या हो रहा है? एक जमाने में कार्ल मार्क्स ने अब से करीब 150 साल पहले ये आवाज उठाई थी, उसको लेके क्रांतियां भी, लेकिन वो क्रांतियां कुछ हद तक सफल हुई, लेकिन जो अंतिम लक्ष्य था, एक सर्वहारा समाज का निर्माण करना, एक सर्वसमावेशी समता मूलक समाज का निर्माण करना, वो प्राप्त ही नहीं हो पाया। इसलिए ये भी होना चाहिए कि लोगों के जो उपभोग करते हैं, जो कंज्यूम करते हैं चीजें, उस पर कुछ प्रतिबंध लगे। अंधाधुंध लोग खर्च करते हैं, अंधाधुंध उपभोग करते हैं वस्तुओं का, और दूसरी तरफ लोग भूखे मरते हैं। ये ठीक नहीं है। इस सब के प्रावधान, चाहे कोई साम्यवादी व्यवस्था हो, चाहे पूंजीवादी व्यवस्था हो, चाहे लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था हो, जो भी व्यवस्था हो, उनमें लागू होना चाहिए ताकि विषमता घटे और एक समता मूलक समाज बने। और सारे राष्ट्रों के बीच में समन्वय भी कायम होना बहुत जरूरी है। तो बीच में तो 20-25 साल पहले एक अच्छे युग की शुरुआत हो गई थी, लेकिन आप देखें अभी इस यूक्रेन युद्ध से तो स्पष्ट हो गया कि सारी दुनिया फिर से दो खेमों में बट रही है। एक खेमा रूसी और चीनी है और दूसरे खेमे में अमेरिका के साथ जुड़े हुए राष्ट्र हैं। ये खेमेबाजी अंततोगत्वा सारी विश्व शांति के लिए, विश्व की समृद्धि के लिए, विश्व के व्यापार के लिए, विश्व के और तरह तरह के विनिमयों के लिए खतरनाक साबित हो सकती है। इसलिए कोशिश होनी चाहिए कि गुटबाजियां खत्म हो और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर जो भारत का एक नजरिया था वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की पूरी वसुधा ही एक कुटुंब की तरह रहे, उसका प्रयत्न होना चाहिए। इसके अलावा बहुत से काम हैं जो मैं कह सकता हूँ कि हर देश में शिक्षा, चिकित्सा, मनोरंजन, भोजन, कपड़ा, निवास, ये आवश्यक चीजें हैं। ये इनका न्यूनतम एक स्तर नियत होना चाहिए और वो हर व्यक्ति को प्राप्त होना चाहिए। उसके लिए जो भी कानून, नियम, बंधन, प्रतिबंध लगाने पड़े वो लगाए जाने चाहिए। इसके अलावा मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि भारत को कम से कम एक नया विश्व समाज गढ़ने के लिए एक पहल करनी चाहिए और वो पहल अब मैं कर रहा हूँ कि भारत के जितने भी पड़ोसी देश हैं, जिनको किसी जमाने में महावीर स्वामी, भगवान बुद्ध और महर्षि दयानंद ने आर्यावर्त कहा था, कि क्या है, इस आर्यावर्त को जोड़ना चाहिए, इसका एक साझा बाजार बने, इसका साझा महासंघ बने, इसकी साझा सरकार बने, इसमें हर काम में साझा सहयोग हो, तो आप देखें कि विश्व के सामने हम एक नया उदाहरण पेश करेंगे। ये इलाका कौन सा है? ये अराकान से खुरासान तक, यानी बर्मा से लेके ईरान तक का इलाका, वो त्रिविष्टुप। त्रिविष्टुप क्या है? तिब्बत। त्रिविष्टुप से लेके मालदीव तक, ये सारा पुराना आर्यावर्त है। यहाँ के लोग चाहे अलग अलग भाषाएं बोलते हों, अलग अलग धर्मों मजहबों को मानते हों, उनकी वेशभूषाएं अलग अलग हों, खान पान अलग अलग हों, लेकिन सबका संस्कार, सबकी संस्कृति, सबकी जीवन पद्धति, सबका चाल चलन एक जैसा है, सबकी मर्यादाएं एक जैसी है। इन सब देशों में अपार संपदा भरी पड़ी। मुझे इन सब देशों में रहने का, इनमें जाने का, इनमें काम करने का, इनमें पढ़ाने का, इनके और जनसाधारण से संपर्क कायम करने का पिछले 50-55 साल में काफी अवसर मिला है। मैंने कभी ये महसूस नहीं किया इन देशों में जाके कि मैं कोई विदेश में गया। मुझे ये सब भारत के ही हिस्सा लगते हैं और भारत इनका हिस्सा लगता है। ये अपने लोग हैं, इनको अगर हम जोड़ें तो मैं आपको क्या बताऊं, ये जो मध्य एशिया के 5 राष्ट्र हैं, तुर्कमेनिस्तान, कजाकिस्तान, किर्गिजिस्तान, उज्बेकिस्तान, तुर्कमेनिस्तान, इन राष्ट्रों में कुल आबादी 7 करोड़, 7.25 करोड़ है और इनका क्षेत्रफल भारत से 1.5 गुना ज्यादा है और संपदा, खनिज संपदा इतनी भरी पड़ी है कि पूरे भारत ही नहीं, पूरे दक्षिण एशिया और मध्य एशिया की अगले 200 साल की जरूरतें एक देश भी चाहे तो पूरी कर सकता है। अकेले अफगानिस्तान में इतना लोहा भरा पड़ा है कि 200 साल तक पूरे दक्षिण एशिया को लोहा कहीं से आयात करने की जरूरत नहीं है। वहाँ लोहा है, तांबा है, चांदी है, यूरेनियम है, कोयला है, तेल है, गैस है, भरी पड़ी है, कोई खोदने वाला नहीं। और हमारे आपस के संबंध उतने अच्छे नहीं। भारत अगर इन सब देशों में सीधा पहुंचना चाहे तो थलमार्ग से जाने के लिए उसे पाकिस्तान और अफगानिस्तान होके जाना पड़ेगा। इन दोनों देशों में जो शासन है इस समय बहुत ही अस्थिरता भोग रहा है, बहुत परेशानियों में है। ये सब हमारे परिवार के लोग हैं, इनकी मदद करना, इनसे मदद लेना, हमें उसमें कोई संकोच नहीं होना चाहिए। लेकिन ये काम कौन करेगा? ये काम सरकारों के लिए करना बहुत जरूरी है, लेकिन आसान नहीं है, क्योंकि सरकारों को एक नीति बनानी पड़ती है और उस नीति पे चलते रहना पड़ता है। और सरकारों में सिर्फ प्रधानमंत्रियों, राष्ट्रपति और मंत्रियों की नहीं चलती है, फौजियों की भी चलती है, नौकरशाहों की भी चलती है, और भी उनकी कई परेशानियां होती हैं। इसलिए ये काम भी जनता के लोगों को करना चाहिए। इसीलिए मैंने 16 देशों का एक जन दक्षिण दक्षिण एवं मध्य एशियाई क्षेत्रीय सहयोग संघ बनाने की कोशिश में कर रहा हूँ। अगले 2-4 महीने में ये संगठन उठ खड़ा होगा। इन सभी देशों के पुराने राष्ट्रपतियों, प्रधानमंत्रियों, नेताओं, व्यापारियों, उद्योगपतियों, वकीलों, डॉक्टरों, खिलाड़ियों, पत्रकारों सबको जोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। और मेरी कोशिश ये है कि इन सब देशों के लोग मिलके एक बड़े बृहद परिवार की भावना से अग्रसर हों और एक उदाहरण पेश करें दुनिया के सामने कि हम एशिया के लोग इतना सहयोग परस्पर कर सकते हैं और इतने जो गरीब और पिछड़े हुए लोग हैं उनको ऊंचा उठा सकते हैं कि सारी दुनिया हमसे सीखे। यही तो विश्व गुरु होना है। और विश्व गुरु होना कोई तिलक चोटी धारण करके पंडिताई झाड़ना थोड़ी है। यही विश्व गुरु होना है। सबको ये बताना है कि मानव मात्र का कल्याण कैसे कर सकते हैं। और भारत ने ये सबक सैकड़ों हजारों वर्षों के अपने इतिहास में सारी दुनिया को सिखाया है। भारत ने शक्तिशाली होते हुए भी कभी किसी मुल्क पे हमला करने की कोशिश नहीं की। भारत के लोगों ने विदेशों में जाकर अपना मजहब, अपना संप्रदाय, अपना पंथ फैलाने के लिए लोगों के गले नहीं काटे, लोगों के पवित्र स्थलों को भंग नहीं किया है, लोगों पर जुल्म नहीं ढाए। भारत ने बहुत ही अच्छे आदर्श और भारत में जो विदेशी धर्म भी आए हैं वो भी भारतीय बनकर बड़े उदार हो गए, बहुत अच्छे हो गए, बेजोड़ हो गए। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि भारत को अग्रणी भूमिका अदा करना चाहिए। इन सब देशों को जोड़ के इनमें लोकतंत्र, संपन्नता, समता और संपन्नता और खुशहाली इन सब का आगाज हो तो मैं समझता हूँ कि एक नए विश्व का निर्माण होगा। और उससे भारत को जो चाहते हैं आप लोग कि विश्व गुरु बने, लोग अपने आप स्वीकार करेंगे। खुद को विश्व गुरु बनाने की कोशिश करना अपने आप में ठीक नहीं है। विश्व गुरु बनने का मतलब ये हुआ कि हम लोगों को सिखाना चाहते हैं। सबसे अच्छा तो है कि लोगों से हम सीखना चाहें, विश्व चेला बनना चाहें, विश्व चेला बनने की कोशिश करें और इतने अच्छे बन जाएं कि लोग अपने आप हमें विश्व गुरु कहने लगे। यही मैं सोचता हूँ कि सर्वश्रेष्ठ तरीका है। धन्यवाद। नमस्ते हितेश जी। नमस्ते।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर वेद प्रताप वैदिक जी। और आपने जो बातें बोली हैं सभी प्रोजेक्ट युग परिवर्तन के साथ बिल्कुल तालमेल खाती हैं। और मैंने जैसे चैट में लिखा भी है कि आने वाले समय में मैं आपसे मिलता हूं गुड़गांव में आके और त्रिलोक जी के साथ भी बैठते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे पास भी कुछ विजन है, स्ट्रेटेजी है और आपके पास भी एक इन्फ्लुएंस है, विजन है। तो भारत को अगर विश्व गुरु बनना है सही मायने में तो पहले अंदर से भी हमें जुड़ना ही होगा, एक सिनर्जी के साथ ही आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा। तो ये आज के आपकी जो सारे मुद्दे, सारी बातें हैं, हम भी इसको साथ में लेके चल रहे हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक आत्मता तो बन रही है। तो शुरुआत करते हैं इसकी, एक औपचारिक मीटिंग कर लेते हैं फेस टू फेस और वहां से इसको आगे लेके चलते हैं।
धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
नमस्ते।
आपका बहुत धन्यवाद कि आप बिल्कुल समय निकाल के आए। आपकी तबीयत भी थोड़ी ठीक नहीं थी, उसके बावजूद भी ड्यूरिंग ट्रांजिट आपने इतना अच्छा विचार सबके सामने रखा। तो मिलते रहेंगे दोबारा और एक डेडिकेटेड फोरम भी रखेंगे आपके लिए 2-3 घंटे की, जिसमें हम इसको बिल्कुल डिटेल में एक्शन आइटम्स के रूप में कर सकें। और हमारी पूरी टीम जो ऑल ओवर इंडिया में अब फैल चुकी है वो इसमें कैसे सहयोग कर सकती है, कैसे खुद भी एम्पावर हो सकती है और आपके मिशन को भी एम्पावर कर सकती है, उसके बारे में भी चर्चा करेंगे।
नमस्ते।
नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू। ओके, व्हाट अ वंडरफुल सेशन डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम डॉक्टर वेद प्रताप वैदिक जी, जिनका पूरा जो सीवी अनीता जी ने पढ़ा उसमें इतना कुछ वो ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं और उसके बाद भी इस आयु में भी और तबीयत खराब होने के बावजूद भी लगे हुए हैं। अभी भी वो एक इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस की ओर जाने वाले हैं कुछ हफ्तों में और वहाँ पे भी ये सारे मुद्दे जो आज उन्होंने यहाँ पे बोले हैं उसको डिस्कस करेंगे। और मैं भी जैसे चैट बॉक्स में मैंने लिखा है कि सबसे पहले हमें सार्क कंट्री से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए, एक प्रपोजल बनाना चाहिए आसपास की छोटी छोटी कंट्रीज के लिए, जैसे नेपाल, पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश, श्रीलंका कम से कम, एंड भूटान और म्यांमार भी, कि कैसे एक सार्क गवर्नमेंट instead of a collaboration group, we should have a SAARC government. उसका अपना एक कंट्री के नाम से वजूद हो, बेशक वो एक कंट्रीज का समूह है, जैसे कि यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स जो है स्टेट्स को जोड़ के मिला, भारत भी जो है अभी 75 साल पहले जिसकी दोबारा से रचना हुई वो बहुत सारे प्रिंसली स्टेट्स के जुड़ने से बना। ऐसे ही क्या कुछ ऐसी कंट्रीज बन सकती हैं जो मल्टीपल कंट्रीज का एक तरह से समूह हो, जैसे कंपनीज के रूप में हम देखते हैं कि देयर आर सेवरल मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज, सो कैन वी हैव मल्टीनेशनल पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आल्सो who have the jurisdiction to fight the elections in a set of countries and then eventually into the entire world. तो पूरा एक वर्ल्ड गवर्नेंस लेवल का एक स्वरूप निकल के आएगा, क्योंकि अभी जो स्वरूप है वो कोलैबोरेशन ग्रुप्स का है, चाहे वो सार्क हो, चाहे वो ब्रिक्स हो, चाहे वो क्वाड हो, चाहे वो यूनाइटेड नेशंस हो। यूनाइटेड नेशंस भी कहीं ना कहीं उसके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर में बहुत लूजली कपल्ड सिस्टम है और डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम तो शायद बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। तो ऐसे में यूनाइटेड नेशन को भी दोबारा रिस्ट्रक्चर होने की और एक विश्व सम्राट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनने की आवश्यकता है। तो डॉक्टर वेद प्रताप वैदिक जी जो कि काफ़ी इन्फ्लुएंशियल हैं, तो यूनाइटेड नेशंस में भी वो भारत को रिप्रेजेंट कर चुके हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि उनके साथ जुड़ने से और उनके प्रोजेक्ट युग परिवर्तन सिनर्जी प्लेटफॉर्म पे जुड़ने से सभी का इसमें विन विन सिचुएशन क्रिएट होगी। तो मेरी उनसे यही रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप बिल्कुल हमें अपने साथ ही समझिए और जितना भी ये सिस्टम एक्सपैंड होता रहेगा वो कहीं ना कहीं आपके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को भी पूरा करेगा, और हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव तो है ही पूरे विश्व को जो है एक सूत्र में बांधना प्रोजेक्ट युग परिवर्तन के द्वारा, तो हम भी लगातार लगे रहेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद वैदिक जी। नमस्कार। आइए अब आगे चलते हैं हमारे अगले वक्ता की ओर। आवर नेक्स्ट स्पीकर ऑफ द डे इज ब्रिगेडियर पोगला गणेशन जी, and I would like to invite my colleague Sophie Secura to invite him on the stage.
It is an honor to introduce our third speaker of the day, Brigadier Pogula Ganesham ji. Brigadier Pogula Ganesham hails from Telangana, is an engineering and MBA graduate, a specialist in tanks, and served in the Indian Army with distinction for over 35 years. He was instrumental in developing a multi-role weapon platform, Windy, for the Army, which was displayed on the Republic Day Parade in 2004. A patent granted for this innovation is the first patent of the Indian Army. And for his distinguished services, he was awarded Vishisht Seva Medal by the President of India on Republic Day in 2005. Post-retirement, he served Bharat Dynamics Limited as Director of Production from 2006 to 2009. He is a member of Rajya Senate Board, Telangana, board member of Telangana State Innovation Cell, amongst many others. He formed a voluntary group, Pallesh Rujana, in 2005 to nurture grassroots creativity and traditional knowledge in both Telugu states. A Telugu bi-monthly Pallesh Rujana has been published since 2006. His initiatives include Chinna Shodha Yatra, Rural Internship, Grassroots Entrepreneurship, Brahma Swayam Samruddhi, Gyan Shodh, Ignited Minds, etc. These initiatives prepare future social leaders and change makers. In the last 16 years, he built a voluntary network of 3,000 in Telugu states, scouted over 300 innovators, and documented more than 2,000 traditional knowledge practices. Till date, with the efforts of volunteers, innovators received 3 Padma Shri Awards, 7 International Awards, 13 President of India Awards, 38 patents, 8 Raitu Neshtam Awards, 8 NIRD Awards, and 32 Telugu school children were awarded President Medals. 160 innovations incubated and marketed successfully with a combined turnover of 18 crore rupees during 2016 to 2022, thus touching the lives of over 10 lakh Telugu families and providing employment to over 200 people in rural regions. His mission is to highlight the significance of grassroots creativity for an equitable growth of the nation. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our third speaker of the day, Brigadier Kogula Ganeshan ji.
Namaskar, Ganeshan ji, and very warm welcome to Project YugParivartan Global Summit 2022.
Thank you, Asheshji. It's a great honor to be here. It was a very strange meeting with me and Hiteshji. He was kind enough to come to our place, and I don't know who he was, but as we kept on talking, and at the end, he spent half an hour to tell me his vision. It left me totally stunned because the kind of a confidence he showed in the plan, the kind of a schedules he put in, he bet all the generals of the Indian Army. That's something struck me, and I was curious about it. And then a call comes that I must speak in this global summit. Honestly, it was a challenge for me because you see the previous two speakers, one took you to the Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga. The other one, Ved Prakashji has taken all of us to the entire globe, Earth, various countries. But now I intend to take you to the villages of India. I hope it fits into the sequence or doesn't, but that's what I can do.
That actually complements that. So we'll have a holistic view today.
Yeah. So this is where the creativity at grassroots and how does it impact the humanity? Because this is our own strength, and we have to identify our strengths to strengthen the strengths. And what we have done in the last 16 is a group of people. Palle Srijana is a organization, Palle is a village, and Srijana is creativity. So the name of the organization operates as a village creativity because we are convinced that there is a creativity in every person, and to nurture it is very important for society, and that would give us inner strength from inside, from within the country, and add on to what they don't have, add on to what we don't have, instead of everything we're getting from outside. So this we started doing, nurturing the creative people in the villages and disseminate their affordable solutions to horizontally from village to village, land to land. And then this we did restricted Telugu states since 2005. What we did was, as a volunteer group, we provided voice to these people because they are in the informal sector and they have no idea what the formal system means and what is their innovation really signifies to the nation. They have no idea. They just did it to solve their own problem. So we try to give them the voice, visibility, and velocity to see that their knowledge is spread as fast as possible to the needy people in the country. Now, the journey of 16 years has been amazing. You know, now I'm 73 years, so I traveled enough, emotional travel. Army, we traveled a lot, but this journey was to unknown to learn something, people and nature. The journey is not just a visit or something like that. Learning from unknown, it's a challenge, and results are not assured. A journey to comprehend the harmony between nature and people. And that's possible only when you walk to them, when you go to them, live with them, stay with them, accepted by them. And they live in a total coexistence. The nature, people, animals, birds, everything, their coexistence. And that's what the way nature lived. And we can watch it, see it there. And there's no rule, there's no law there, there's no traffic lights there, but still they all live in certain norms, certain values, and witness and accept what we see. Most of the time, intellectuals, they keep discussing about acceptance is difficult for someone who has already got a mindset like mine. But to learn to accept what is there. Village people accept faster. What we say, what scientists say, what politicians say, what engineers say, they accept it. They have a tremendous ability to accept because they think that those people who come and tell them who are better in knowledge, they perceive, they only tell what is good for them. There's a kind of perspective they have and they believe it, accept it. We got to ask ourselves, are we really living up to their expectation or not? And the journey is for unlearning and relearning it. And the process of learning is learn, unlearn, and relearn. Have really creative minds, and it is proved their source is not sinks. When you treat somebody as a source, go with the respect, you get a lot from them, and it's happened to us. In our journey, we found that a lot of things we learned, and it starts with happiness. Dalai Lama says everybody lives for happiness. We found the villages people wanted to live happily. And what is happiness in their perspective is a small problem they have in their livelihood activity, whether it is a farming or a weaving or a fishing or a cooking, whatever is there. The small problem which eludes them little happiness, they want to reduce that pain. And they want to remove that obstacle. And they have all small ideas to remove that obstacle. And then they're happy that, oh God, today I've saved half an hour time, or I did not bend today, I put everything standing. So productivity is increased. So these small ideas which give them small happiness by reduction of pain is what they have been doing it. And this is where their creativity is very well utilized. So that this is the journey proved that if you observe the problems, this is what we learned from the villagers, and using your creativity, develop innovations which can be used in your life as application, used in your life, implements, and thereby pain is reduced and happiness is the outcome of the reduction of pain. And if a community, society, districts, states, and countries live with increased happiness, I think the peace will automatically dawn onto the earth. And they do something like more from less. For many, it's like, you put the nature is small. One seed gives millions, still thousands of seeds and leaves and so much. So input is less, output is more. Whereas in our technology, it's the other way around. Input is more and output is less. And this MLM principle leads to affordability, acceptability, especially availability. In their understanding, innovation is very simple. You see the two pictures there, left side, there's no step. Therefore, there is struggle, there's a pain, there's a likely accident, and the 4 people. And the right side is the happiness. And this is exactly what they don't want a big thing, the small things. And then the right side is a small step, the lady is comfortably going. And happiness is in a school, taps are same level, but children are of different heights. Now, this pain is causes pain to them. So, somebody thought of Chaya, a girl thought of having multi-level, which give them comfort to the people. They come running and feel happy that someone has thought of them. And perhaps they will think of somebody else when they grow up. So I'm talking about the urea distribution. Look at this boy, he does so beautifully. So he put a small backpack and puts the urea and he does it. So this is small innovation, so he chooses the location where to put in, and also quantity controls by pressing it. So that kind of imagine the kind of savings you have, 35 to 40% can be saved. You have this, look at the small tractor, 6.5 horsepower, and it can carry a load of 800 kg. And it can do all kinds which the 35 horsepower tractor does it. For a 5-acre person, this is quite sufficient. But still, we 85% people have only 5 acres and less. But we given them bigger tractors. Appropriateness is the issue. Now, then we know the spraying is always done with 3 feet length. Look at the way it is with the hand sprayer. But there's one guy who made 300 feet length. he covered 300 feet length, the right side, you see. From 3 feet to 300 feet, he did with the same machine. So look at the small innovation of 3 feet to 300 feet. It gives them tremendous, advantage to the farmer for doing this. And most of the innovations they do with zeroing the post-sale activity. Once the innovation is sold, there's no relation, no communication with them. There's no need for that. That kind of a local technologies they use it. And similarly, we have lots of, you see on the left side, you see the paddy crop has a lot of weeds. But when you have a herbal weedicide, you use it, there's no weed at all on the right side, you see it. And herbal weedicide made by one of the villager. And it's absolutely no weed, and growth automatically goes up, and the cost of weed is reduced to the farmer. Now, this is the way earlier transportation used to take place in the village. They don't have anything. So somebody made a 4-wheel trailer. This can run by 2-wheeler or 4-wheeler. So the village has got a transporter. Unmet need is come, and now they can lot of movement is possible with the least cost. And the beauty of the design is that the prime mover is available in the village. A 2-wheeler or a kinetic, anything will work. Even tractor, it can work. So they providing affordable excellence. Why provide only star treatments? Linearly, more money, more quality. But here, poor people need affordable excellence. You know, this kind of a tree climbing for coconuts, and this is there. And on the right side, you find a video where the trolley troll going, sitting and moving. On the left side, you find a guy standing and going. So innovations are various types. It's all, and we believe that since nature is customized, standard technology may not be useful. So see, for the same climbing, individually they make different things. The one goes up on the left side, he has to use only one hand because he has to hold the tree for safety. And the right side, the Venkat has improved the innovation and made the farmer sit down, and so that he can use both the legs. Look at the small incremental innovation, but made so much difference to the farmer. I think crores of people in India work in the open, in the especially farm sector, and we have no ready-made solution. There's a boy, Srinmukh Rao, who said something, a shade can be made with 2 poles on the both sides and 2 wheels on each side. And this wheel can be such a way that it can work in the wet or dry fields. But the people who work for 8 hours a day, they'll feel happier. And when they go home, they have a dinner with some laugh and other things. Other major issue the pain they face is the head loads. 21st century, third decade, or second decade, we still have the same thing. So there are 2 innovations made. One on the left side is how to carry it. Adivasi made in Rajasthan. So the small gadgets made for herself individually, and she puts it there and then moves on. And while going, he pushes these 2 stands so that the whole vessel lifts by about a few millimeters. The load doesn't come on the head. And same thing on the right side, the plastic frame, it doesn't touch the head. So 80 kg he puts on the head, the load goes to the body. We don't pay much attention, but this boy made a good innovation in Tirupati, and it has got national, international award also. So beautifully he goes up comfortably. Now, in the entire innovations, I'm sure you found emphasis on people, not on technology, and that's very important. You firstly identify the pain, describe the pain. When you describe the pain, define the problem. And people emphasize innovations will bring happiness by reducing the pains. In all our villages, we don't have to shift it up, and any amount of loads are done manually. I who made a small a crane fitted to a tractor, and the green portion is a crane, and it can lift 800 kgs up to 15 feet. And crane and tractor is available in most of the villages. And this costs just 10,000 rupees. And imagine 6.5 lakhs villages that get all this, the happiness they have, the health they have, the efficiency, productivity. I'm sure you'll imagine it. Then we have weeders of all types. We have weeders. This is a weeder effortlessly goes into a weeder with a row distance of 28 inches. Then we have a reader where one weeder for all crops. This can go to all crops, 1 meter. This is what made by Venkatesh. Now, what he did is he made a small 12 inches, but the rear portion you can keep increasing depending on the crop. So the crop rotation is not a problem for the farmer because sometimes buying a new weeder will dictate his not allow him to run crop rotation. So 1 weeder for all crops. Then there's somebody said, why not make the farmer sit if it's for a long time? There's one more weeder. Like they make anything, all in the made, all made by villagers to reduce some pains and bring some happiness and productivity. Now, one lady in Visakhapatnam, Mr. Raju, saw people throwing tomatoes because life is not much after plucking. She worked hard for 6-8 years and made some liquid made of edible leaves of the available around. And the tomatoes you see is those which are 25 days kept in the room temperature after dipping in that liquid. So that's a way somebody sees the pain and finds solution. That's a great advantage to the system. And handloom, handloom people, they have to use their pedals. The pedals there, each pedal, when they press it, they're at about 25 to 45 kg, they have to lift it. And 5,000 times minimum a day, they have to press it. Now, and they're tired of these, give up after some time. So here, somebody made a gadget. It's a small gadget, electromechanical things. You just slide it there without any modification to the loom, and the man is only touching it. But touching it, entire load is taken. He's not even taking the 100 kg load. And here you see this man has no legs. He's using a switch. Same machine is used. Now, it might be such a small thing, but it makes so much sense to the farmer, so much to the weavers, and also the society, because the quality improves because machine is lifting all the threads. And handicapped people, old people can also work so that their skills are replaced by society. So livelihood increases. And that's amazing innovations we found out. You have seen this kind of a hand pump is not been replaced. Only version 1 has been given to us so far. Since my childhood, version 2 has not come. Why is the difference? Why is insensitivity to the people's requirements? So somebody made this. Instead of 1:1, it is 1:7. So simple. Amazing, an engineer 1:7, such simplicity is really excites everybody. So that's kind of they come from somewhere. Father saw that his daughter in the school was delayed without taking the water to a classroom, and teacher humiliated her by punishment. She came back and cried. So parents internalized the pain of the daughter, and he went and did something in the school, the permission of principal, and this is where we found in Jharkhand, in tribal area. This is a kind of some ways it comes from internalizing others' pain. So what this probably innovations I told you, many, but just for introduction. Now what we do, this Palestinian, when they started doing from scouting and nurturing all the way till getting them patents, getting them awards, getting them dissemination and business development where they wish to do it. Now, the idea has to be disseminated. Scouting is the biggest problem. We have to go, whom to ask, how to go about, why should they share with us? Unknown people. And that's a challenging thing. And then documentation, another challenge, because this documentation challenge is not there in the formal system, because their first project proposal is made, then other things are made. Here, nothing is made. And without documentation, this beautiful knowledge cannot be connected to the farmers. The fact of the volunteerism done by the people is shown on this. And just to tell you that the last the volunteers of various walks of life, they come. I'll talk about it, which will want you to connect to YugParivartan. So what villagers need is raising of individual productivity, not a bigger machine. That's why they make affordable, appropriate, customized tools. They make it, and with the input cost reduces. And 80% of marginal small farmers can be comfortable. This is all effect of creativity and volunteerism to scout and disseminate. Now, all these things are important for the ultimate effect of society. So basically, if we have to grow in this country, as the Marquis Korean says, that you need a traditional knowledge, a village wisdom, and the professionalism. Both are required. But how do you get to know where it is? How do you get to traditional knowledge? We have to go there and help them so that they can. Their creativity is gathered, their creativity is converted into production, local decentralized production, provide them affordable tools, appropriate tools, customizable tools. Then I think the creativity will be leveraged for the benefit of the nation and the world. And how did we do this journey? This is a major point I want to tell you. What I told you is briefly what Palestina did. But how did we do was that, with happiness has to, we all live up to happiness as Dalai Lama said and all of us know, then it comes only by sustained contribution. And sustained contribution is possible when you look at the problems around you, you try to solve them. And also live in coexistence, to live and love the neighbor. Oh, he has a problem, let me reduce his problem. So when you love in a coexistence, interdependence, and then only you're able to contribute. And that comes, we want to live in harmony with the people. Then you would like to live in coexistence, interdependence, and also want to contribute. And you care for others. So you play a role of a human being, not a role of a doctor or engineer or a teacher or a father, mother. You have to play a role of human being, basically, and play a role of others where required. But that's what we saw in the villages. And that's why the creativity has given so much of happiness. And they are perfect. They are very happy with the environment. That's why they use MLM principle, more from less from many. So there is an overall view of how the quality of life, approach to life should be there. And thereby they lived, and they're also helping the entire society to be happier. And who are the actors in the entire activity? What you have seen is the farmers, rural people who have no understanding of formal system. They are only happy with what is around them. And the volunteers who are from formal sector, they don't know much about informal sector. And there's a big gap between formal and informal sector. I'm sure about it. And they don't know, actually, there's a big wall between them. Formal sector doesn't accept them, and informal sector people, and vice versa. Informal sector don't know what to do. So the volunteers become a bridge, and both are unknown to each other. They scouted, documented. They didn't get anything, no accolades, no clap, nothing for them. They used to village. They spend their money. Palestine is an organization where we don't take money, don't give money. It is no money organization. And they've scouted and they connected the formal system with them. They wrote award. They applied for awards by writing their stories, and also they've got the patents for them. All this done by the volunteers and with the connection of the system. It's a pure volunteerism. And ages, we got ages from degree, first year to the 70, 75 retired people. Everybody, women, men, children, everybody worked for this kind of activity. So we have no organization. We have only a group. We don't call organization registered, but there's no authority. There's no accountability. There's no mission objective. There's no goal. There's no task allocation. There's no accountability. But 16 years we were running and did so much in the place, all because of volunteerism. And the way Palestine, when we look back how we ran it, it's only based for the common people and totally goodness of the people. It worked. And some ways is the philosophy where the village people and the volunteers both try to reduce the pain of others. And that's what mattered in the entire. And when somebody comes to us, we want to volunteer, we explain to them what is the extent of work from left to right. And then we tell them, do wherever you want, whatever you want, however you want, how much you want and don't want. We don't do any accountability. And still we could manage, volunteers could do so much. So they did all this activity which is not part of their curriculum or taught in the classes. It's a knowledge-based activity. A knowledge where you have to be responsible and reciprocal with mutual respect. You have to handle it. The owner of the knowledge has to be acknowledged everywhere. And these children never learned about knowledge handling. In our system, nobody teaches knowledge handling, but yet they did it voluntarily without training. It's only seeing each other, learning from each other, respecting each other. Now, what is that project YugParivartan and this particular small experiment we did it? I don't experiment with the evolution we did over a period of time. The volunteerism, our Palestinian volunteerism, I felt that it has got two perspectives. One is voluntary perspective where he does without any expectations, selflessly, 100% selflessly. The other perspective is the beneficiary. He must feel that he has got benefit from his point of view. And this Palestinian volunteerism, what our people did, is this kind of volunteerism where both the perspectives are completely fulfilled. And emphasis on people and people and people. everything, technology, money, everything secondary, because ultimately happiness is for the people, and happiness increase, people focus has to be there. And we could do without organization. And I told you, there's no organization, there's no ownership and no accountability. Yet they did it. There's no credit, there's no clap, there's no certificate, there's nothing was done. Still they did it, and they're happy to come back and do it. Happy to be, close associated. We call it a Palestinian kutumbam, a family. They want to be part of this family. And connect to informal, formal system is a great task. They did with enthusiasm. They failed, they did it, but it was quite a task. And it is, as I said, they played the role of a human. Engineering first year students, graduate first year students, PG students, they all did. They don't know anything. Sometimes online they did all these things because the Corona time, nothing could be stopped. It could be personally gone. And basically, I think they have done it because they love, they respect every human around them. And a lot of spirituality is not discussed in the whole activity. Spirituality was never discussed, religion not discussed, but never ignored, because we all worked on some binding force. So it's a experiment which needs to be tried in other sectors. Some sector we have done the knowledge sector, the other sector it will be possible. And maybe YugParivartan, you need, are they, Hitesh should tell me whether these volunteers are at the process of self-actualization, something like that. I need you to tell me how volunteerism really played up. So
actually,
this is my last slide, Hitesh, if you could permit me. Yeah. So when you use the few conflict areas which come to my mind as I see our experience and what you said, it is Satya word is more appealing than golden, because Satya is unambiguous. Golden is a human interpretation. This is my suggestion, but supernatural gold is more appeals to the majority of people than other ones. Then happiness is there, and playing of role. I'm sure you have done a lot of work on that. You'll be able to clarify which is the best way for self-actualization. And transformation has to be based on human values. The moment you miss human values, transformation is not really useful later. I've been listening last 3 days. Collaboration through convergence, apart convergence. You have been preaching. It's amazing, openness you have, and the way you're carrying all the speakers in the last 4 days have seen is amazing. And this works. It's a new approach to the world, how to go with differences forward. And that's all I have. And we all have to something. Each one has some. Let's do something and see that the pain reduces. And Project YugParivartan is a great platform for the contribution by all of us. And thank you very much. Om Shanti.
It was really a very wonderful presentation, and look forward to collaborate with you, because as you have seen, Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform can synergize people, at least aiming to synergize people, even if there are ideological differences. Because instead of talking about differences, we need to find the common grounds. And when you try to find the common ground, you can definitely find it anywhere, right? Because we all human beings are designed in a similar fashion. If you want to find a common ground between two extremes like Ravan and Ram, then also we can find it, right? So somewhere people have forgotten that. They just wait for the utopian 100% alignment, without which they don't move forward for collaboration. So time has come when all these differences can exist and still we can collaborate, ultimately leading to a oneness. So I appreciate that you mentioned about the difference between Satya and Golden, because we were also getting quite confused about it, whether we should use Golden Age or not. Satya Yuga is basically the age of truth, and in Urdu they say it as Daur-e Haq, right? It's a justice system, Nyayapurn system, wherein everybody is served by everyone else. So Golden Age, of course, it indicates something related to capitalism also and materialism. So yes, we will try to change wherever we can. And in fact, we have shifted from, earlier we were using the word New World Order, which was objected by a few people because there are few conspiracy theorists who are also using the New World Order. So we moved from New World Order to Golden World Order, and then from Golden World Order, now we call it as Wise World Order. PYP wise world order. So probably that would be a better nomenclature.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Great. So it was really great to hear you, and that small meeting at your office has come to a next step. And I hope we will continue to move towards the further next steps, especially because you are working in a rural area and there are several people in our system who want to study how things are happening in the rural area and how we can add value there so that we can upgrade them to PYP wise village. And there are several villages which are there in our radar, like Pipilantri, and then there is a village in Karnal, and we are exploring more. There are certain villages in Dharampuri, Tamil Nadu, where some of our team members are exploring. So the best part of your presentation was the innovation can happen even in the people who are not able to fulfill their basic needs, who are poor, who are underprivileged. So that's something which we also feel that self-actualization means kaisi bhi ho paristhiti, ek si ho manosthiti, or Sthit Pragya ho manosthiti. So yes, these circumstances, including the poverty, sometimes give a stimulus to the soul to walk on the path of self-realization and self-actualization. So they may need some helping hand. And what we can see from your mission is that a great helping hand is going to them to convert their innovation into a tangible, practical outcome.
No. Let me correct. Let me clarify point. They are ready for use. Ready for use for their problem and for their expectations. We in our framework, we see that no, it needs re-engineering, it needs re-standardization, because we look at differently. They look at differently. Now we have to see which is better for society. If the problem is of that particular farmer or the villager, and under 6 lakhs villages have similar people, then it should go as it is. It should go as it is because it is made from the local resources, it is made for the local problems, it is made for the operated by the local people and solves the local problems. And affordability, the appropriateness comes in that. But the moment we say we wanted to re-engineer it and improve it for whatever the reason we think, we are interfering into their needs and we are making it unaffordable. So we got to be very clear about it. But what they cannot solve, we must give our solutions. What they cannot solve, because they have limitation of solving their problems.
Right. That's what I'm saying, that you are acting as a complementary force to them, because when we have to create some solution through some innovative idea, converting that into a product, then it has to be marketable also, and it should be economically sustainable. Right. Otherwise, yes, we can innovate for our own use, but it will not become scalable. And this is exactly the problem which is happening in the world, that one good thing happening in one part of the world should move to other places where it is needed with the speed of light. So PYP Synergy platform will ensure that.
When we come, we'll discuss more. What volunteers have done is dissemination, as you said rightly. Dissemination as it is, which they cannot do because they have no idea that where to sell with. They have no idea.
Because it requires a different skill set altogether.
Exactly. So what
creating something is different, and training people about that is different, and organizing that into a sustainable system is a different skill set.
What we saw is that the benefit of one creativity at one place should go all over. And who will do this? The innovator is not responsible to do it. And we have no system to go to the villages and find out and then horizontally disseminate. There's no method. We found this method through volunteers, and it's fast. It goes very fast. It's very fast. With the kind of communication levels we have, it's much easier now than it was 10 years back.
Correct.
So what we did was disseminated, as you said rightly, we disseminated the creativity to lakhs of people across the country. And the National Innovation Foundation Honeybee Network is doing in many states. I'm talking about, I'm doing it for the last 15 years, everybody's doing it. But the feeling that they need help, I think that has to be reduced to the lowest level, that we must treat them with respect. As they are scientists, they are innovators. We will certainly bring out their knowledge for the benefit of entire society wherever it's required.
And there is a question which has come for you from Mr. Rajesh Budraja. We'll take this one question. So he's asking that Brigadier Ji shared on what made him to take on this after retirement from forces. Most of the retired persons from forces have a different mind state. So what was the trigger for you?
Oh, this is a question generally asked, so I'm ready with the answer, but it's a long answer. Make it short. Thank you. Thank you very much. Since no human being is same. Everyone has their own different things, and I come from village. Basically, what happened was while in the service, I found that a soldier, you may train a soldier for 100 scenarios, but when what he faces is the 101st scenario, and yet he comes as a winner. I was always intrigued, how did this happen? How does this happen? And each soldier does it. And he is the one who actually fights the battle along with the other officers. So I found that they are all innovating. So there is innovation comes not because required, because the duty demands, his passion demands, his patriotism demands. But he says, I have to come winner. And he does it. Now, if these people at the bottom of the organization, so-called bottom of the organization, can do innovate regularly and bring so much victory and happiness to the goal achievement to the organization, is it happening all over the civil society or only in the army is happening? So I went on, when retired, I came back and saw it's all is happening in the villages too. So I walked into the villages. One decision I've taken is that I don't earn anymore, and I made myself zero at the age of 16 and started learning from villagers by walking through the villages. And the journey has been excellent, and it is ecstasy. So I become, I don't have good reason to say so, but the kind of knowledge I've learned the last 16 years is surely much more than what I learned in the first 60 years.
Good. So we'll all learn from inspiring people like you, and self-actualization is something which is needed by a large number of people today, so that we can build the solutions with the speed of light, because we don't have enough time now left for recovery. So let's come together and synergize and see how we can become complementary forces to each other. So great, Brigadier Ganesham ji, looking forward to meet you in Hyderabad. And with this, let us move on to our fourth speaker of the day, Professor Dr. Ethirajan Govindarajan ji. So he is also from Hyderabad, just like Brigadier Ganesham ji. So I would like to invite my colleague Garima Verma to invite our fourth speaker of the day to the dais.
Thank you, Hitesh sir. Brigadier Ganesham, I truly salute your spirit of service, from serving in the armed forces to serving the nation. It is truly commendable. Bahut bahut namaskar and all the best. And we definitely will synergize as a team. It's a privilege to get an opportunity to introduce our fourth speaker of the day 5 of the 5-day summit, Dr. Ethirajan Govindarajan ji. Professor Dr. E.G. Rajan, BSc, DMIT, ME, PhD, FIE, is the founder president of the Pentagram Research Center, Hyderabad, India. He is an electronics engineer and a professor of signal processing, having about 42 years of experience in teaching, research, and administration. He has a number of publications to his credit. He has been a professional member of ACM and an editor of the Journal of AMSE, Royal Academy of Doctors, Barcelona, Spain. He received his PhD degree in electrical engineering, signal and image processing from Indian Institute of Technology, which we popularly know as IIT, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. ME degree in applied electronics from Madras University, and then famous DMIT in electronics engineering from the Madras Institute of Technology, Corampet, Madras, and BSc degree in physics from Madras University. His contribution to the state of the art of electronic warfare and support measures has been well recognized in the government and industrial sectors. He was a noted teacher in the Department of Electrical Engineering of the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. He received Distinguished Scientist and Man of the Millennium Award from the Who's Who Bibliographical Records, Cambridge in 2000. He authored many books like Symbolic Computing, signal and image processing, electronic order of battle records of military radars, computers and information technology, and foundations of information technology. He is the father of a novel paradigm, symbolic computing, in the framework of Markov's constructive mathematical logic. His contribution to computer vision, pattern recognition, modeling and simulation, artificial intelligence and machine learning, and cloud can be seen in his research publications. He has brought out more than 25 original patentable concepts. One such concept is codon space, which advocates the theory of life forms as subspaces of information space called codon space. Another concept is mathematical transform, which goes by his name Rajan transform. On November 15th, 2015, he was awarded the prestigious Dr. APJ Abul Kalam Gold Medal for his lifetime achievement in teaching, research, industrial development, and corporate social responsibility. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our fourth speaker of the day 5 of the 5 days Project YugParivartan Global Summit 2022, Professor Dr. Ethirajan Govindarajanji.
Welcome, Dr. Rajan.
At the outset, I thank Chandraji, Hitesh, for giving me an opportunity to address the participants of this summit, global summit. My approach will be a little bit didactical, paradigmatic, because I happen to be a professor, academician. Though I was an electronic warfare officer in the cabinet secretariat way back in 1978, but turned out to be an academician 84 onwards. Okay. So bear with me. You're listening to a professor. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, his vision was a superpower nation in 2020. He wanted to call it as Bharat. I closely worked with him in various aspects of missile engineering. With my background, in cabinet secretariat, I was in aviation research center as a mission commander. I was working there. Later on, switched over to teaching because I was working very closely with him, and unfortunately, we lost him. So my vision is a superpower nation 2030. We would call it as Mahabharat. So this is an important activity. This will be there. Why I'm saying that this should be done. This is a first step towards YugParivartan. Satya Yug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kali Yug. We are slowly, some transformation is taking place. That's Satya Yug, this information age. We need a slow and steady and a comfortable transformation, not a violent transformation. So Hiteshji's vision is to go in for a very comfortable, smooth transition from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga or Golden Age or whatever. Our country today is like this, very complicated, highly disorganized. The problematic India today. We need a clean country, a model country. In 2000, let's say 30, it should be a clean country. A complete transformation has to take place to the golden age, India in 2030. This is very important. This is required for the YugParivartan, the concept what we have now. How do we do it? How to make India a model country? India, without Indians, remains a piece of land. we may have to do some SWOT analysis. Generally, what people do is, I've been observing various fora. We have been talking about the ancient, our achievements. We are blowing our own trumpet. But what is happening today? What is our contribution today? We talk about Bharadwaj, we talk about Vaishampayana, whatnot. What is happening today? It's not good. Simply talking, boasting about our ancient philosophy, it will not work. As he said, rightly pointed out, we don't have time. We have to hasten up. We have to speed up so that YugParivartan takes place in a very smooth manner. So I thought that we should do some SWOT analysis on India, I mean Indians. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are the opportunities we have today? And what are the threats we face today? The parameters which I want to use is strength to weakness ratio, SWR. Opportunity to threat ratio, OTR. So we have to optimize these parameters. Let us see the strengths of our country. India is the 7th largest country in the world by area. India accounts for 2.4% of total world surface area. According to Ministry of Home Affairs, 3,287,469 square kilometers, we have the land. India's arable land area is around 160 million hectares. This is the second largest in the world after the United States. There are around 649,481 villages in India, according to available details, what I have collected recently. There are 4 major sources of surface water: rivers, lakes, ponds, and tanks. There are about 10,360 rivers and their tributaries longer than 1.6 kilometers each. The mean annual flow in all the river basins in India is 1,869 cubic kilometers. We are water rich. The total amount of forest cover is around 72 million hectares approximately. India's major mineral resources include coal, iron ore, manganese ore. We have mica, bauxite, chromite, natural gas, diamonds, limestone, and thorium, to name a few. The mainland coastal line is around 7,517 kilometers, including island territories. That is, you are talking about Andaman, Nicobar, and whatnot. The population is a strength. The current population of India is 139 crores as on April 2nd, 2021, based on the World of Media elaboration of the latest United Nations data. India's population is equivalent to 17.7% of the total world population. India ranks number 2 in the list of countries by population. The population density in India is 464 people per kilometer square. 35% of the population is urban. The median age in India is 28.4 years, which is very bad. India literacy rate is 74.37%, which is inadequate. The unemployment rate declined to 6.5% in 2021 from 9.1% in December 2020. The employment rate surged to 37.9% as compared to 36%. We talk about economy. We have export, import. The exports, top 10 commodities we are taking into consideration here. Refined petroleum, gems, precious metals, coins, vehicles, machines, engines, pumps, organic chemicals, pharmaceuticals, cereals, iron and steel, clothing, and electronics. We are exporting this. We are importing oil. The value is 38.3% share we have. Around about $177.5 billion. We import oil, gems, electronics, machines, organic chemicals, plastics, iron and steel, animal, vegetable fats and oils, ores, slag and ash, medical and technical equipment. We import a lot. See this? This export, we have, for example, petroleum, $61.2 billion, but we import $177.5 billion, which is not good. We have energy generation, thermal, nuclear, hydro, and others. We have a total of GWH, we say, gigawatt, I can say. I have given the details here, you can see this. Top 10 thermal power stations in India. We have Vindhyachal Thermal Power Station, Madhya Pradesh, Mundra, Gujarat, again Mundra Ultra Mega Power Plant, Gujarat, Sasan Ultra Mega Power Plant, Madhya Pradesh, Tiroda, Maharashtra, Talcher in Odisha, Raihat Thermal Power Station, Uttar Pradesh, Saipat in Chhattisgarh, Chandrapur Super Thermal Power Station, Maharashtra, NTPC Dadri, Uttar Pradesh. We have nuclear power plants, Kaiga, Karnataka, Kakrapar, Gujarat, Kudankulam, this is in Tamil Nadu, again Madras, Kalpakam, Tamil Nadu, Narora, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, you have Tarapur. We produce a total of 7,480 megawatts of electrical energy from nuclear power plants. What about our national highways? Our National Highways Authority of India takes care of the entire road transport system, from its construction to the maintenance. There are over 200 national highways in India. National highways play a very important role in the development of the infrastructure of a country. Especially after 2016, we have very good development in the infrastructure. Brief details I have shown here. You can see here, NH 44 to NH 34. Srinagar to Kanyakumari, Gangotri Dham to Uttarakhand to Lucknow, Madhya Pradesh. Then what about waterways? It's an important infrastructure facility we have, transportation facility we have. NW1, Allahabad Haldia stretch of the Ganga, Bhagirathi, Hooghly rivers is one of the finest waterways. We have a total of 111 officially notified inland national waterways in India, identified for the purposes of inland transportation as per the National Waterways Act 2016. Out of 111 NWs, 106 were created in 2016 itself. It covers around 20,275 kilometers. NW 1, 2, and 3 are already operational. Cargo, even passengers, vessels are plying on these waterways. Detailed project report for development of NW4 and others were completed in 2010. The DPR of the NW5 was updated in 2014. For the newly declared 106 NWs, the techno-economical feasibility studies have been initiated now. What about the seaports? We have Deen Dayal Port Trust, Gujarat, Paradweep in Odisha, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, Maharashtra, Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, Mumbai Port Trust, Maharashtra, Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Port, West Bengal, Chennai Port Trust, Tamil Nadu, New Mangalore Port Trust, Karnataka, V.O. Chidambaranar Port Trust, Tamil Nadu, Kochi Port Trust, Kerala, Kamarajar Port Trust, Port Limited, is a company, public limited company, Tamil Nadu, Mamugaon Port Trust, Goa. These are the ports, seaports for transportation. What about airports for transportation? The airports in India include existing and former commercial airports, flying schools, military bases, etc. I was working in one such airport near, it's called Charbatiya, it's near Cuttack. So we have, as per AAI data from November 2016, the following are being targeted for scheduled commercial flight operations under UDAN RCS. 486 total airports, airstrips, flying schools, and military bases available in the country. 123 airports with scheduled commercial flights, including some with dual civilian army use. 34 international airports. I'm showing here an international airport, Hyderabad, and the Indian Air Force Base, Ghaziabad. Food and agriculture products. We are quite comfortable as far as the production, food production is concerned. Rice, buffalo milk, cow milk, wheat, cotton, mangoes, fresh vegetables, chicken, meat, potatoes, bananas, sugarcane, maize, oranges, tomatoes, chickpeas, okra, soybeans, hen eggs, cauliflower, broccoli, onions, etc., etc. We talk about apples, bananas, beans, cashew nuts, castor oil seed, cauliflowers, broccoli again, cherries. All these things are developed, produced in India itself. According to the union government, the estimates, the food production was 291.95 metric ton in 2019-20. By 2020-21, the government of India had set the target 298.3 metric ton, which is approximately 2% more than the previous output. So food production must double by 2050 to match the country's population and income growth. Healthcare. We are self-sufficient in healthcare. India has a universal healthcare administered at the state level rather than the federal level. Healthcare is free for all Indian residents except for small, often symbolic co-payments for the services. In 2019, the total net government spending on healthcare was $36 billion, 1.23% of its GDP. The National Health Policy was endorsed by the Parliament of India 1983 and updated, and then again updated in 2017. In practice, however, the private healthcare sector is responsible for the majority of healthcare in India, and most healthcare expenses are paid directly out of pocket by patients and their families. A government-funded healthcare insurance project was launched in 2018 by the government of India called Ayushman Bharat. This is aimed to cover the bottom 50% of the country's population and offer the treatment even in the private hospitals. Attracting 45% of the health tourists visiting India and 30 to 40% of the domestic health tourists, Chennai is termed India's health capital. Defense. We are too good in defense. We must be proud of that. The Indian Armed Forces has three professionally uniformed services: Army, Navy, and Air Force. Indian Armed Forces are supported by the Indian Coast Guard and paramilitary organizations like Assam Rifles Special Frontier Force called SFF, and various inter-service commands, institutions such as the Strategic Forces Command, the Andaman Nicobar Command, the Integrated Defense Staff. the President of India is the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces. Indian forces are under the management of the Ministry of Defense of the Government of India. With strength of over 1.4 million active personnel, it is the world's second largest military force and has the world's largest voluntary army. It also has the third largest defense budget in the world. I've been doing a lot of analysis on the defense analysis. As per 2015 Credit Suisse report, Indian Armed Forces is the world's fifth most powerful military, whereas the 2020 Global Fire reports list it as the fourth most powerful military. Central Armed Police Forces are referred to as paramilitary forces, and they're headed by civilian officers, Indian Police Service officers, and are under the control of Ministry of Home Affairs. I think most of people know that. This is a dashboard consisting of the active reserve governing body area of various forces: Indian Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Assam Rifles, SFF, Border Security Force, Central Industry Security Force, Central Reserve Police Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, National Security Guard, NSG. It was formed when I was in service. No, this is Shastra Seema Bal, Railway Protection Force, National Disaster Response Force, etc., etc. You can see that. All these things are available in Home Ministry website. Science and technology. We are no less than any other country. India's GERD, that is a gross expenditure on R&D, has been consistently increasing over the years. India's GERD as a percentage of GDP stood 0.86% in 2020. In fact, I have my own reservations because it should be more than 5%. I expect the government of India should increase the funding, the budget, the 5% of the GDP. Attractive opportunities. We have top exporter of IT products as the third largest pharma sector and the fast growing contract research segment. Even our company, we had a contract from the American government. India stands third globally in the number of peer-reviewed science and engineering publications. Because my experience is around 105 PhDs have produced till now. A lot of publications, we have in IEEE, IET, Springer, whatnot and whatnot. Indian Institutes of Information Technology Laws Bill 2020. In fact, personally, I was involved when Chandrababu was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Then I was one of the founder members of the formation of IIIT Hyderabad. The core vision of Science, Technology and Innovation Policy 2020 is the decentralization of policy, designing by making it a bottom-up and inclusive process. This is very important. But private activities are also is very important. PPP basis, many R&D companies are working in this country. India ranks third among the most attractive investment destinations for technology transactions. The country has regularly undertaken space missions. Kudos to ISRO, including missions to the moon, famed satellite launching vehicle PSLV. India is likely to take a leading role in launching satellites. I have come across many people, even some of my own students, they are leading in ISRO. The market size, India ranks in the top 15% of the ICT, information communication technology, service exports, our own engineering graduates, the government online services, and R&D intensive global companies. India is a Global Innovation Index, GII 2019, according to that. It moved up to the 5th rank in the global R&D funding forecast 2020. Government is extensively promoting research parks. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he has said that we have to be Atmanirbhar Bharat. It's a very important, statement he has made, and we're all committed to that. Technology business incubators, TBIs, which promote innovative ideas till they become commercial ventures. India's gross expenditure in R&D forecast to reach $96.5, I'm sorry, $0.5 billion in 2020. We expected by 2022, R&D expenditure is targeted to reach at least 2% of the, which is not sufficient. We have to increase it to 5%. India's National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, prepared by Niti Aayog, forward to harness the potential artificial intelligence in different fields. I have a personal experience in teaching this artificial intelligence in the name called Thinking Machines in IIT Kanpur way back in 1990. With support from the government, considerable investment and development has incurred. Different sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, space research, and nuclear power through scientific research. For instance, India is gradually becoming self-reliant in nuclear technology. We have suggested, some of my colleagues who are in Stanford, we have been suggesting to the government of India what is known as low energy nuclear reaction, which is called cold fusion. I'm sure that the government of India will pay attention to that. Trade, there is no doubt. We are good. We are self-sufficient. We are comfortable in trade. Some dashboard results I'm showing here. India is engaged in trading pertaining to agriculture and allied industries, automobiles, components, automobile components, aviation, banking, biotechnology, cement, chemicals, consumer durables, manufacturing, engineering, and capital goods, financial services, FMCG, gems and jewelry, healthcare, infrastructure, to name a few. Metals, mining, MSME, oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, sports, whatnot and whatnot. We are in the trade, comfortable trade we are doing. Art and culture, to come to a smoother part of it. Indian art consists of a variety of art forms, including painting, sculpture, pottery, and textile, such as woven silk. Kanchipuram silk, for example, is famous, world famous. Then Pochampalli, silk saris, world famous. Geographically, it spans the entire Indian subcontinent, including now India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, and Eastern Afghanistan. The origin of Indian art can be traced to prehistoric settlements in the 3rd millennium BC. The historic art, sculpture in stone and metal, mainly religious, has survived the Indian climate better than other media and provides most of the best remains. Indian artists, artistic styles, historically followed Indian regions out of the subcontinent, having especially large influence in Tibet, Southeast Asia, and China. Indian art has itself received influences at times, especially from Central Asia and Iran and Europe. All these strengths apart, we have terrific weaknesses. I've been studying this. It's a Government of India, Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. It's a compendium, 2015. I've been studying this particular book from there. I collected some. It was very pathetic situation we are in even today. No doubt, India's strength is unlimited. Yet we see slums even today with the high-rise buildings, a compact area, about 300 population, or about 60 to 70 households of poorly built, congested tenements in unhygienic environment, usually with inadequate infrastructure and lacking in proper sanitary and drinking water facilities, we have identified. Every 6th urban Indian lives in slums, unfit for human habitation. Truth is always unpalatable, but we have to call a spade as a spade. Slums, in fact, are so common that are found 65% of the Indian towns. Yet, slum dwellers are the most overlooked section of the society. 6 to 10 slum dwellers live closely to unsanitary drains, and almost 4 out of 10 do not get treated water. Andhra Pradesh, as per my research, tops the list of slum hubs, with 36.1% of its urban population living in slums. Other states are Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, West Bengal, Sikkim, Jammu and Kashmir, and Haryana. Lot of slum dwellers are there. You can see the condition. Slum dwellers, you can see the high-rise buildings there. You have slum here. In Bombay, you might have come across slum dwellers and residents of high-rise buildings coexist. India is trying its best to reduce the poverty and provide makeshift arrangements to slum dwellers. Tamil Nadu government, for the past almost 45 years, they've been trying to remove the slums and make shift arrangements. They have been doing it. We have been observing that. GDP is a big weakness we have. GDP, the GDP per capita only we are interested in this case. We have around 2099.5% or 6%, I'm sorry, US dollars per person in India, which is absolutely unacceptable. We are below poverty line in that case. Well, what about this thing? Effective literacy rate. Number of literature persons aged 7 or above divided by population age 7 and above, multiplied by 100, it's called effective literacy rate. Crude literacy rate, number of literate persons divided by total population, multiplied by 100. The world average is 86 adult literacy and youth literacy. World average is 86.3%. Then the youth literacy is 91.2%. We are proud to say that we are just above Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal. We are sad, I'm sorry to say that we are below Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and China as of the adult literacy rate and youth literacy is concerned. These are all evaluated statistics. Unemployment is a terrible mess we are in now. Just before the COVID crisis at the end of 2019-20, I returned from United States. I was really shocked to see this, the problems that are there in India. Unfortunately, the unemployed youths are many. 403 million employed people and around 35 million, 3.5 crore openly unemployed people in the country. I'm not talking just like that. This is from the Mahesh Vyas of Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. Education in the time of COVID-19, how institutions and students are coping up. Unavoidable. Online education. This is not so easy as speaking into the microphone at one end and connecting a laptop and listening in on the other. What we are doing now is online. There are challenges faced at both ends of the spectrum. And another important thing is, you can say, that the non-uniform education system in this country is one of the major drawbacks. The uniform system is not available. I have come across education system because I've been teaching in world-class institutions in US and Canada. Recently, I've been to Canada, University of Toronto. Uniform education system is practiced in every Western country. Unfortunately, that is not happening in India. Because of this, it's a major drawback to the quality of education. The central and state government-sponsored institutions are not having the same approaches, such as the syllabus, teacher training, infrastructure, financial assistance, to name a few. We have to look into this, a serious weakness we have today. The situation is going to get worse as the pandemic refuses to go away. Every day, today, people talk about monkeypox. I don't know what type of different viruses people are inventing. Likely, a large portion of India's idle and angry youth might further get attracted to spiteful strands of religious and caste-based sectarianistic viewpoints and bringing more social and group unrest to the country and the region. Unemployment youth, definitely they're resorting to something else, which is not good for the country. Political imbalances, many a times, and turbulences would distract youth's attention from academic pursuits. Recently I was in Chennai. I had been interviewing some students. Absolutely, I was not at all satisfied. That aspect, the attitude for teaching, attitude for learning is totally missing in the teaching and learning community. This has to be seriously looked into, and people like you should, Hiteshji should take this thing in a serious way. What about our opportunities? We have opportunity. Do you think that we don't have opportunities? We do have. There are opportunities for youth with specific skill sets. The only question I was asking these young people is, do you have the skill set? Do you know programming? Do you know the fundamentals of computer science? Do you know the fundamentals of electronics and communication engineering? I asked one person, what is the, the type of filter that you use after full wave rectifier? 80% marks he had from some university in Chennai. I don't want to name the university. He said, I don't know. Then what type of education we have? There is enough business for various MSME entrepreneurs, provided they focus on requirements and needs. Financial support is available for MSME. I know many people are interested in entrepreneurs. I think they are getting some support from the government. Innovative people would always find plenty of opportunities. We have lots of opportunities. We are working on top class innovative projects. What about threats? There are domestic and international threats to India. Dogmatic fundamentalism and may distract youths and misguide them. Global pandemic situation may turn out to be an opportunity or a threat to the development of India. Now, what is it we are supposed to do? Steps to be undertaken to overcome weaknesses and threats on a personal level. What is it we are supposed to do? How do we overcome poverty, including me and everyone who is listening to me? Please take it in the right spirit. Because I am a professor, even today, I'm teaching, I'm guiding at the age of 74. But I have to be didactical. Please excuse me if I cross my limits. Be clean in thoughts, words, and deeds. Be engaged always. Do not while away time. Be active but patient. Keep trying. One will get what one wants. Take it for granted. Aim at the stars. At least you will reach the top of the tree. Dr. Kalam used to tell me always, we have been working for years together. The design of various weapon systems. Right from 1978, when he was the director of RCI. Later on, he moved to different places, became the president of India. Till that time, till he was available in this world, in this country, I was cooperating with him. We have been working together. That's what he used to say always. Aim at the stars. You'll reach at least the top of the tree. If you're not ambitious, you cannot achieve anything. Be ambitious, but be satisfied with what you deserve to get. Share your knowledge, money, food, and other things to others. Motivate your lazy friends. There are many lazy friends you have to work hard. Advise them. A good friend, he should always advise in a positive way to his friends. Even if they don't like it, please do that. Advise them. Provide opportunities to others. For God's sake, do not grab opportunities from others. Wealth generation is important. I've been talking to the global director of Polaris, 1 week back. We have been discussing, it's a fintech project, a huge project they have been discussing. Wealth generation is very important. If you want to increase the GDP, wealth generation is important, but do it legally. Pay your income tax. This is very important. It is expected to be used for national development. How to overcome unemployment problem? Make yourself employable, and that's the only way. Possess sufficient knowledge in your domain. You are an electronic engineer, you do BTech, you do MTech, you do PhD, go to IAS, and you become a collector and you become a milk commissioner, milk dairy farm. What is the use of it? Your domain, you have to stick on to your domain. That's very important. I'm not discouraging people to become IAS, IPS, but your domain you should not forget. Improve your communication skills. It's very important. That doesn't mean that you have to talk like an American. There's no need for you to talk like that. A good communication expert will be able to communicate what he has in his mind in the shortest of time to all the people who listen to him. Develop ethical balance of mind, adaptability. With your environment, the people around you, you should adapt. All five fingers are not equal. Do not find fault with others. Stick on to your own character. Expose yourself as you are. You don't have to imitate somebody. Say what you think and do what you say. Never say, I don't know this. It's wrong. Say, I shall learn this. Respect yourself. You have self-esteem you should have. You should not bow your head before others, only to your mother, father, your guru, your Devam, and the national flag. Nothing else other than that. Avoid look busy, do nothing attitude. Backbiting and leg pulling are very bad habits. Never do this. These habits only will pull you down. If you try to pull the legs of others, your legs will be pulled down one day or other. Beware of this. There is no dignity for labor. Do all domestic and office jobs, however small they may be. I'm a chairman of multiples of companies, but still I'm cleaning my own computer. I don't wait for somebody to come and do it. It's our job, our things. We have to maintain that. Steps to be again undertaken. Security threats. On a personal level, what are you supposed to do? We fear that India is currently facing a severe security threat. Recent events, of course, you might have come across what is happening in the country, inside the country, and our neighborhood vouch for it. Who are posing major threats, you must understand. Domestic threats, they're all from petty thieves, branded thieves, criminals, economic offenders, anti-social elements, religious fanatics, separatists, corrupted individuals, and traitors. These are the people cause, domestic threats. External threats, mostly neighboring countries, terrorists, illegal migrants. Beware of these threats. Be patriotic. Swadesho Bhuvanatrayam. You have to be patriotic and be prepared to counter all kinds of threats with all possible, systems you have, the capacity you have, the intellectual ability you have. If you are able to do that, if similar kinds of steps were taken, one will certainly be able to contribute to make Bharat as a superpower nation, Mahabharat. This is the beginning of YugParivartan. Jai Hind. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. If you have any question, please feel free.
Thank you very much, Rajanji, for this wonderful presentation backed by a lot of data, which is definitely very useful to convert the vision into actionables. And of course, there are synergetic forces working for creating the YugParivartan. And what I got in my revelation was to search for all such forces who are aiming towards the Satyuga and bring them together into a synergy system. I may not have all the expertise which is required to do the YugParivartan. No one can have. But if we come together, then we can become complementary forces to each other. We can create synergies, 1 + 1 = 11. We can fill the gaps that we possess. So all that is coming together into this synergy platform. Almost 150 experts we have invited so far. And after the summit, we will start talking to each one of them to create certain level of documentation or MOUs through which we can do the next steps actions. So thanks a lot for this wonderful presentation. I'll go through it once again because it has a lot of data, may take 2-3 times to absorb completely. Okay, so anyone having any question for Rajanji? Please raise your hands. Okay, Umeshji, please ask your question.
Thank you very much, Rajanji. This is my subject of my interest. In fact, I'm an engineer and also I'm a management, consultant trainer. But this has really given me such a great insight. I think it's a wonderful insight to be known. In fact, I will get all those, whatever the things, please kindly share this. And I think I would like to go in detail about this. Because wherever the presentation of mine is, has to do with SWOT analysis only. This is really enlightened me so much. Sir, now, as regards strength, what you have said is perfectly fine. But the weaknesses, which I was telling you, the downtrodden people and the unemployment and all these, and this is creating all other problems of this India because of all sectorial problems and all that. Sir, how fast we can do it and how we can counter this? This is because this is a major threat for our Indian integrity. This has to be done on war footing. So what is your advice to the government and how it will be done within about another few years, 3, 4, 5 years, sir? Please tell me.
Yeah, this particular SWOT analysis I have made only for the government of India.
Yeah.
Okay. Education system and economy and whatnot and whatnot. Entrepreneur qualities. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Actually, we have suggested to the Prime Minister of this country, not directly through, though we know each other, but indirectly we have communicated to him that digital food initiative, digital health initiative, and digital security initiative. Because I was a security man, I was working under the Director General of Security, Cabinet Secretariat. I know what is required for the country. So all these things I had given. In our company website, you can see. You can go through that, pentagramresearch.com. You can go through that. Lot of content should be there. You will be definitely surprised to see a lot of contents in that. This we have been given, and we have been giving to the government of India when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. That time itself, no, we have been giving this thing to the government of India. These digital India, digital initiatives, which we have been talking for quite some time. So we have to create our own innovative ideas. The cut copy paste idea should not be there. I've been, see, for example, evaluating so many research papers for IEEE and IIT, nanobiotechnology, etc., Springer and whatnot. I was one of the chief editors of these things. I have never come across a paper from India in the biotechnology area. All papers, whatever I have reviewed, they're all from China. What happened to our people? Please understand. Are we not capable of doing that? Are we not capable of creating our own, what do you call, operating system? Please think. I'm a philosopher. Basically, I'm a philosopher. I'm a Vedanta Deshikacharya. Spirituality is my birth. But science is important. You have to see science in spirituality and spirituality in science. That is why I'm very closely working with Hiteshji. He's one of the...
Just to introduce, Umesh Sejikanji, who has asked the question, is our PYP State Head Karnataka. And I have met Rajanji, Umeshji. I have met Rajanji, and I would request you also to come down to Hyderabad and meet him. We are actually planning a big event in August, on August 14, as a World Avatar Day. We are celebrating since last 2 years as a World Avatar Day, wherein everyone has to introspect and declare their Avatar Day, that on which day they will start performing like a Masiha the world is waiting for. So on that day, we can come together and share ideas and exchange ideas. And I invite Umeshji to please meet Rajanji. You will get a lot of knowledge just by interacting with him for a few minutes itself. All these skills will come together to definitely create a miniature Swarn Yug in Project Swarn Bhumi. So let us all experiment and do a pilot in this piece of land of 620 acres. And then whatever lessons we learn from there, then we can roll it out for mass replication.
Good. Tadastu.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Namaskar. Thank you.
Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Jai Hind. Okay, so with this, I would like to invite my colleague, Sophie Secura, to introduce the next speaker of the day, post which the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Hitesh, and thank you, Dr. Rajan, for giving us such an honest overview of what it would take to transform India into the Vishwa Guru of the world. We certainly have our work cut out for us, and PYP is all here for it, so thank you. Now, let me introduce and invite our Chief Mentor, Hitesh Chandel, as the 25th speaker of Project YugParivartan Global Summit 2022, which will also mark the completion of the summit and beginning of several new collaborations. As we all know, Mr. Hitesh is the founder, chief mentor of the Defined Values Consultants, founder of Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform, and the author of the revolutionary book, Code of Citizens Conduct, Rashtra Dharma. Prior to launching Project YugParivartan, he worked with leading IT organizations for 14 years. There was something buried deep within his heart to channelize his spiritual energies towards re-establishing the status of Bharat as Vishwa Guru or mentor of the world, which inspired him to do a deep research on ancient Indian philosophy and contemporary Western organizational development philosophies to create a blended human and organizational development framework, such as the Self-Actualized Leadership Development Program or SALDP, which is all set to revolutionize the way human beings and organizations are developed across the planet, regardless of their caste, creed, religion, or nationality. He has a target to develop 1 million or 10 lakh self-actualized leaders by 4th June 2025 and synergize them through Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform. The Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform is an inclusive, exclusive, and conclusive framework to bring about the golden age for humanity. So far, almost 150 eminent speakers have recorded their presence on this revolutionary platform in various global summits. The presentation by him today will explain how each of one of us can become part of this grand system. And so to summarize, he is an author, serial entrepreneur, spiritual revolutionary, leadership coach, and a visionary thought leader. Please feel free to ask him any question related to Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform so that you can take an informed decision to manifest your avatar performance through this system. Presenting our Chief Mentor, Shri Hitesh Chandel.
Thanks, Sophie, for this introduction and, of course, setting the context for the last but not the least presentation of PYP Global Summit 2022, in which we will talk about how you can become part of the Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform. There are enormous number of options because it's a very large system, a composite system, an inclusive, exclusive, and conclusive system to bring the golden age or the Satyuga back to the world. So several options are there. You can choose whatever suits you at this moment and later on change the relationship with the platform as you move forward and understand it better. On day one of the summit, I've explained about the framework of Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform, the vision of Project YugParivartan in a nutshell. Today we will talk about the various membership types. So I'll quickly skip through the vision part of it and then directly come to the how part of it. Okay, so let us talk about the design of Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform, which is continuously evolving and will continue to evolve as more dynamics come to are unveiled, and the system size, quality, demographies, everything keeps changing. So if you recall, we were talking about building Satyug or golden world order or wise world order infrastructure from the current ecosystem that we have. So if this vision is not injected into the collective human consciousness, and we are not saying that no other efforts on this planet are taking the world towards the golden age, but the current situation is such that despite all those efforts, despite all the technological developments, despite all the innovations happening on a daily basis on this planet, we are still moving towards the dark age, right? The economic parameters are failing all across the planet. Economy is in a very severe situation. You can see leaders have started jumping to the last resort. There is a famous proverb that war is the last resort. And what we can see in the world today, there is a very likelihood possibility of opening up of several additional war fronts in addition to the Ukraine and Russia. So why it is happening? Because there is a clear deficit of self-actualized leaders on the various leadership positions in the world. Then scarcity of food and natural resources, this also we know, it's growing more severe by the day. I've written all these presentations and all these parameters way back. At that time also, these situations were not good, but now they are moving towards the worst. A sick and ill society. We have all celebrated 2 years of collective sickness all across the world, looking towards the various statistics which were moving upwards on a daily basis. Disharmony between people, especially if you see in India, if you see all the news channels these days, even for slight provocation, the issues of disharmony are becoming national issues and even international issues. And choked infrastructures of the cities. The cities are developed in a manner that we are not learning the lessons from the past mistakes and continue to follow the same path of making chaotic cities that we have followed for the previous cities. So all this needs to change. And for this, we need solution creators, self-actualized leaders. You all know we have a target of 1 million self-actualized leaders in next 3 years. So we really need to speed up now. This is the time with the Global Summit, 4th June. 4th June is an important date in the life cycle of PYP. So every 4th June, we have to raise our resolve. So this time we are targeting to have a 1,000 times growth in the next 365 days. And this can only happen when each one of you play the role of a self-actualized leaders and upgrade yourself from the audience connection with the PYP. Of course, you may be doing several things in your own silos and own institutions. Now, this golden age would be a booming economy, highly competent leadership pipeline, abundance of food, minimum diseases, harmony between people, and a robust infrastructure catering to all human needs. This is our scope of work that we together have to do through Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform and build these PYP wise cities, which we now is no more new thing for you. You also have heard this many times in several YouTube videos. Also, it is shared now. So these small habitats of 2 by 2 kilometers of accommodating 50,000 to 1 lakh people per wise cities have to be developed in a manner that it has to be a mini world, right? It has to be mini world with all the localized and abundant circular economies. And these have to be developed in a systematic manner with the principle of oneness in all the countries so that there is no rich-poor divide in various countries left anymore. And the size of the countries should also be same. Each prime minister or president of the wise world order should have the similar level of accountabilities, job descriptions, KRAs, and KPIs. Now, 10 clusters, 1 state, 10 states, 1 country is what we are aiming for to create a oneness-based organization. And the nations of the Golden World Order or Wise World Order should not be considered as international boundaries, right? So several restrictions which divide human beings on the basis of nationality also need to be broken now, right? Then only we will be arriving at a Satyug or a utopian world. Now to do that, several task forces are being created. Once you join the Project YugParivartan Synergy platform, you can be part of one or more of these task forces. There is a conference or assembly which will be conducted regularly from next week onwards, where all these task forces status and their action items will be discussed. So this is the right time. If you have not yet taken a step to enter into PYP, this is the right time when you should do it. Then as we are targeting our date, 4th June 2025, to declare Bharat as Vishwaguru, either by the United Nations General Assembly itself, or we have to be Swayambhu and declare it ourselves, because every 6th person on this planet is an Indian and is living in India. So if these people, 139 crore people, get united, declare Bharat as Vishwaguru, and also do all the actions which can truly make us a Vishwaguru, then 20% of the acceptance will be accomplished. So let us start with ourselves and do all that we can to truly become a Vishwaguru rather than just patting our own back and blowing our own trumpet. So this goal 0, self-actualization of all leaders, will be implemented through a program called as Self-Actualized Leadership Development Program, followed by a deployment program called as Actualize Potential into Performance Program, so that we can break all these layers of illusions and develop the people to the next level of their consciousness. So all these seedings have to be completed by 4th June 2025. Now, this is the complete platform which I would like to discuss with all of you in person, one-on-one communication, because we need to do a mapping of what you are doing so far, what you have done so far, what you are ready to contribute, which role you are ready to play. So all that will depend how you will be associated with Project YugParivartan Synergy platform, if there is a willingness to do so. Now, to organize all the human resources required to implement the vision of Project YugParivartan, we have categorized them into various categories. As you can see, there will be end consumers who will consume the product and services developed by the Synergy platform. Then there will be customers who will buy and pay for it, as we were discussing in the previous session, that yes, Arthvyavastha, the economic model of the Project YugParivartan, also has to be robust. Otherwise, it may collapse due to the means, right? So as Gandhiji has also reiterated, have the purpose, the means will follow. So we are fully confident that our purpose is very clear, the vision is very clearly documented. So we would not have any problems in pulling the means towards the Project YugParivartan. Then there will be certain vendors with whom we will deal externally for procuring the raw material. They will also be associated with the Synergy platform in a seamless manner. There will be shareholders, government interfacing will also be there, people who will be working full-time as employees, and there will be several organizational to organization partnership that we will enable. Several speakers who have joined us during this summit and the previous summits are organizations. So we will proceed with building the memorandum of understanding with all of them progressively. Then there will be volunteers. So far, we don't have any volunteers in PYP, but for doing the work as a foot soldiers, we have to induct them as well. So we are planning to induct them from colleges and MASE. Then there will be public interfacing events, and there will be lenders who will fund the project. So all these personas, all these people, all these roles have to come together in a seamless manner, because it's not just my project. It is the project for every citizen of this planet. So everyone is requested and invited to play their role at whatever level they can play. Now, we have done a lot of analysis, and on the basis of that, we have found a certain level of classification for the alignment of the people towards the vision of Project YugParivartan. And this is not to say that they don't have their own Atmagyan or own evolution. It is only with the context of Project YugParivartan Synergy platform that this alignment is mapped. So on the outer orbit, we have this OWO, Old World Order, who is the least aligned with PYP Synergy platform. Then we have people who may not take up any role within the Project YugParivartan, but at least be an audience in all our summit and all our other events. They may or may not contribute with the system, but they will stay at least on the fence, so that whenever they find it comfortable, they can jump into the ring. So this is the second layer of alignment that can be there in the Synergy platform. Third one is PYP influencers, people who can act as a force multiplier in Project YugParivartan from outside. They may be too busy, or they may not be interested to join hands on a regular basis, but they at least talk about Project YugParivartan in various circles as kind of a brand ambassador and influence the overall momentum of the system. Then further alignment results into becoming part of our external network, which means up to this stage also the person has not entered into the periphery of the Project YugParivartan, but at least is ready to support from outside through various collaborations. It is like they will bring their own ship, they will have their own fleet, and they may go into their own direction. But for some time, they can act as a peer-to-peer contributor. Then if the alignment continues, so till this level, OWO, PYP audience, PYP influencers, and PYP external network. Now, once a person takes a decision to formally join PYP, they have to start with SALDP. And why they need to do it? There are numerous number of ideologies in the world today. And world cannot become one unless we have the common ideology, unless we have the common way of developing the Atmagyan or soul with defined parameters, which is like a common constitution of the world. So what SLDP does is, it smoothens the rough edges of the ideologies of the people, and it also fills the blind spots where they have never gone earlier. So it may sound some self-proclaiming that we are the ones who are teaching the most ideal ideology of the planet. But at the same time, without this homogeneity of thinking process, there are several internal things which cannot be accomplished. So at certain level, we have to create that homogeneity. That is done through SALDP. We teach the people the rules of playing our role as an avatar in this world based on natural laws, and eternal principles. So anyone who is serious to get insight into the system must know those rules, right? We all will play with the same rules. Now, after completing the SALDP, the person with his institution can become part of PYP affiliate network. PYP affiliate network will be specially empowered by the PYP core, because all of them have learned the principles to derive the principle-based decisions, and they are ready to contribute by being inside the system. The next level of alignment will result into giving the leadership positions within the PYP system to all these SALDP graduates by deploying them through APIPP program. Now, after attaining a certain level of maturity, the alignment becomes more stronger and the person will come into the system as a mentor. Now, at this stage, they will be given the responsibility of creating other leaders. So each mentor will be responsible for creating 1,000 self-actualized leaders. So this is a very high level of authority and influence within the system. The next is 9 special human beings who will become part of the core team of the founder, and they are called as PYP Navratans. They are the people who have a very high level of alignment with the heart, mind, and soul of the CYO or the chief mentor role. And then at the nucleus, we will have these 2 roles, chief yoga officer and chief mentor. And I would be playing these roles to start with till the time there are other candidates who rise the ladder and demonstrate their capabilities to be a Vishwa Guru and a Vishwa Samrat. So the chief mentor role is the role to create the unification of humanity by instilling the energy of oneness within every constituent of the PYP. And chief yoga officer, as the name suggests, would be that role who would integrate the entire world into one nation. So the highest role for the Gyan Yoga is chief mentor, and the highest role for the Karma Yoga would be the chief yoga officer. Now there are certain mapping that we have done for each of these categories of membership within the PYP system vis-a-vis the training needs of the role. So if you see, there are 4 training programs which are there to make people avatars. SALDP, Self-Actualized Leadership Development Program, which raises the center of mass of the person to the highest potential level. So it is a potential energy development program. Then APIPP is to actualize that potential into performance. That means once the potential energy is developed, convert that into kinetic energy in the right direction. So the deployment will happen, development will happen through SALDP, and deployment will happen through APIPP. Then SRMDP is the course for creating Vishwaguru level resources, self-realized mentorship development program. And then CMHC is a program to study the founder itself. Right? This is the Ekatmata creation program, and that's why it is mandated for the Navratans. So for chief mentor and CYO role, all the 4 trainings are mandatory. For PYP Navratan role, 2 trainings are mandatory and 2 are optional. SALDP and CMHC are mandatory. APIPP and SRMDP can be skipped. But of course, if you do it, nothing like it. Then PYP mentor, people who will be delivering the SALDP and APIPP will be trained through SRMDP. So for them, SALDP and SRMDP are must. and CMSC and APIPP are optional. Then PYP leader program, leader role for various unit heads roles, which I'll be talking in the next slides. For these roles, a person has to complete SALDP and APIP. To become the part of affiliate network of PYP system through the institutional membership. So this is not individual membership, it is institutional membership. So in this, SALDP is mandatory and other are optional. Now, fifth level of membership is SALDP graduate, that you do the SALDP training and don't take up any role into the system, just be part of the SALDP graduate pool or alumnus network. Right, for this, only SALDP is okay. Then for becoming part of external network, all these trainings are optional. And as an institution, you can become an associate institution with us externally through an MOU. So a limited domain MOU for becoming a resources to each other would be done through this external network. Then PYP influencers, it's again an individual role. No training is mandated. And for becoming PYP audience also, no training is mandated. It is an individual role. Now, before I explain about the subtypes of the membership, any questions so far? Please raise your hands. Okay, no question. Okay, Premji Suroji, you have a question. Yes, please go ahead. पूछिए.
सर, अगर कोई इससे कोई अच्छी योजना या अच्छा प्लान आपके सामने रखता है, उसके लिए भी कोई योजना है कि ये चूज किया जा सके, या इट्स ए फाइनल?
नहीं, इससे अच्छा प्लान और इससे अच्छा योजना अगर आप लेके आते हैं तो आपको हमें ज्वाइन करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, हम आपको ज्वाइन कर लेंगे.
नहीं, आपके पास उसके लिए कोई योजना है, वो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं.
हाँ, यही मैं बता रहा हूँ ना योजना, कि PYP सिनर्जी प्लेटफॉर्म आपको ज्वाइन कर लेगा अगर कोई ऐसा प्लान लेके आता है जो इससे ऊपर जा रहा है. क्योंकि एक प्लान की अगर स्ट्रेटेजी की बात करें तो स्ट्रेटेजी तो मल्टी प्रोन्ज्ड होती है, वो तो बदलती रहेगी जैसे जैसे सिस्टम का साइज बदलता रहेगा. लेकिन अगर विजन के मामले में आप कह रहे हैं इससे ऊपर कोई लेके आते हैं, तो कोड ऑफ सिटीजन्स कंडक्ट में लिखा हुआ है कि अगर इससे ऊपर की कोई विजन आती है और किसी के पास इससे ऊपर पोटेंशियल होता है, तो देखिए उद्देश्य है स्वर्ण युग स्थापित करना, सतयुग स्थापित करना. तो अगर ये सबसे ऊपर की विजन नहीं है तो हम इससे ऊपर की विजन को ज्वाइन करने के लिए तैयार है.
हाँ, मतलब आपके पास वहाँ कहाँ पे लेके आएंगे, उसके लिए कोई डिपार्टमेंट बनाया, वही पूछ रहा हूँ मैं.
हाँ, डिपार्टमेंट आप मुझसे सीधा बात कर सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. हाँ, इसका नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है, देखिए मैं बताता हूँ. इसका नेक्स्ट स्टेप ये है कि आज की इस सभा के बाद एक 1-to-1 शेड्यूल कीजिए और उस 1-to-1 में अपना मैपिंग की मीटिंग है, वो काउंसलिंग एंड मैपिंग, उसमें देखेंगे कि क्या एग्जैक्ट मैपिंग निकल के आती है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे सभी लोगों का अपना अलग अलग पूरा हिसाब होगा. तो हाँ, तो क्योंकि एक वन साइज फिट्स ऑल होता तो हम एक ही मेंबरशिप टाइप देते, तो बहुत सारे पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं, इसलिए उस सबको डिस्कस किया जाएगा 1-to-1. ओके जी. नाउ कमिंग टू द सब टाइप्स. PYP origin, 2 roles, 2 subtypes, chief mentor and chief yoga officer. These roles are also open for others. I am here on these roles to start with, right? Then PYP Navratans. Right now we have identified only one role for it, advisor to chief mentor. We will keep adding more subtypes to it as more things unveil. Then PYP mentors, 4 levels of membership: deputy chief mentor, principal mentor, senior mentor, and associate mentor. So that mapping also needs to be done based on what level of mentoring ability a person has developed as of now. Then PYP leader role, 5 layers: additional associate leader who will govern one wise component of the New World Order or the Wise World Order. Then subtype 4, associate leader who will govern one PYP wise city. Then senior leader who will govern a cluster of 16 vice cities, then principal leaders who will govern one vice state, and deputy chief leader, which are equivalent to prime ministers and presidents of the old world order, they will govern one vice country. Then membership type 4 has 10 subtypes. Self-realized mentorship network member, SRMN, self-actualized leadership network member, SALN, defined values business network member, DVBN, defined values trainers network member, DVTN. Then every vice city of 2 by 2 kilometers will have these 6 mandatory services which will be part of state responsibility. That means it will come for free or at a very nominal price from the end users. What are these services? Schools, orphanages, hospitals, women's home, old age home, and retreat center. So we'll try to minimize the business aspect of these services as much as possible, and ideally it should be zero business services, right? Other than that, of course, without commercial earth activities and earth vyavastha, unless we reach back to the golden world order, we still need to have the economic system. Now, membership type 5, where the person does only the SALDP and won't take any role into the system. So there are two possibilities there, either to stay in the graduate school waiting for the right opportunity to jump in, or take the SALDP alumnus membership, which means do the SALDP and then don't join and don't be in the waiting list for the PYP. Then PYP external network is of 7 types. 6.1 is United Nations. If United Nations agree to be part of Project YugParivartan Synergy platform, then they will be given the 6.1. Any organization of UN will be given a 6.1 type of membership. If any spiritual organizations who are not religious, who are considered as organization inviting people from every religion, they can join as membership type 6.2. Then the government at the level of say state, city, country, or the world level, they will be taken into the system through the 6.3 type of membership. Then political organizations who may or may not be in the government can join at 6.4. All the NGOs and non-profit organizations will join as 6.5. Religious organizations who are specific to one particular religion, they can join as 6.6. And all the business houses who do not want to become part of defined values business network, they can join as 6.7. So they will remain part of external network. No training is required. Just a registration within the system is what is needed. Then the 7th type of membership, or rather 8th type, because we started with MT00. So here, PYP influencer. So there are 4 categories here, 4 subtypes. One is event speaker. That whenever we do any event and you are a subject matter expert or you want to share your vision, then you'll be invited as 7.2 is subject matter expert. So wherever there is a domain level expertise required in any discussion or any implementation, then you can associate yourself. Some of these services may be paid services, like we will pay you for that service, and some of these services may be just voluntary consulting services. Then 7.3 is for those celebrities who don't have time or inclination to do SALDP and come into PYP system, but they like the idea and they want to endorse it. So they can join as 7.3. People who just want to invest in the system, in the core, or any constituent or affiliate organization, they can join as 7.4. And PYP audience membership is like the beginning level organization where you want to be in a wait and watch situation and just be an audience in various forums, silent audience, then you can join as membership type 8. So these are the various possibilities to become part of the system. Now, how this transition will happen from the old world order to the new world order is like this. Right now in the old world order component organizations, the organization is led by the CEOs or the managing directors. At city level, the mayor, MLA and MLC are leading it. So why we are putting it as a city? Because there are several other nomenclature which may not map one-to-one with the golden world order, wise world order. So the nearest match for the PYP wise city roles are mayor, MLA and MLC in the old world order. Then old world order district is led by, say, member of parliament. States are led by chief ministers. Countries are led by prime ministers and presidents. And world is led by the United Nations Secretary General. Now, this PYP team will act as the transition agent for taking the world from the OWO to the wise world order. So here the roles would be PYP city head for old world order city. So mapping would be just like, for example, PYP Dharampuri. So PYP Dharampuri, as per the old nomenclature, is a district and a city. Now in the new system, it may split or it may merge with others. So the new entity that is formed due to the reorganization will be at a different level. So this mapping is a in-between mapping. Now district heads for older districts, state heads for the existing states, country head for the existing country, and world head as the PYP world head as the old world order world head. Now, in the golden world order or wise world order, the roles will be like this. At the component level leadership, the role is additional associate leader, 2 by 2 kilometer city level leadership, associate leader, then cluster level senior leader, state level principal leader, country level deputy chief leader, and world level chief yoga officer. So these will bring the oneness of the organization of various entities. Every country in the world will be of the same size. Every state in every country will also be of the same size. Every cluster in a state will also be of a same size, and every city within a cluster will also be of the same size, having the same or similar components to instill the oneness all across. Too much of diversity has happened. We have to reduce that. Okay, so there are certain hand raised. Anyways, we are coming closer to the slide of Q&A. Just let me complete this. So there is a nomenclature coding for all these components, city, cluster, states, and country in this 5-level codification. The first coding is for the country, like 001, then for the state, then for the cluster, then for the city, and then for the component, so that we can truly identify which component, which organization we are talking about when we deal with the systems, right? Automated systems. Now, you can ask any questions related to the system, PYP Synergy platform, or for your own self-development now. As a next step, there is a one-to-one which you can book for 30 minutes to discuss with me, talk with me about this. I have shared the link. In this, we will discuss about your individual case and try to map you with the nearest membership type, which will be most optimal for you at this moment. Yes, so let us start with the Q&A. So the first question is from Dr. Sanjay Pandey. Yes, Sanjay ji, please ask your question.
Good evening, sir.
Haji, good evening.
I'm really happy that you have raised such a wonderful platform that everyone can have a feeling of the oneness. My question is, whenever I discuss the project YugParivartan here in Himachal at Shimla or wherever I work, most of the people are influenced with your thoughts. When I show your YouTube video to them, they are really impressed. So if I have to set up some kind of PYP chain here, what I should do?
Okay.
That's my question.
Okay, so to answer this question in detail, please book this one-to-one so that we can discuss this in detail. We'll diagnose it properly by understanding all the inputs and then arrive at the solution.
Because people also, they want to give their best in all forms.
Correct. Tan man dhan sab lagega, tab jaake self-actualization.
I was really impressed when you were talking about that every system has to run, there is some ecosystem. So
yeah, actually it is a holistic reform, so nothing should be left out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so next question is from Professor N.K. Jain ji. So Professor Saab, you can ask your question.
In fact, so many changes beyond a certain level creates some type of a confusion. So I have a suggestion that let us keep the boundaries of the states, cities, zones, etc., as is prevalent in the various countries, because they are not important. Important is the matter and the programs. So to implement better and good programs and plans, it's not advisable, as my suggestion. You change everything.
Yeah, this can be debated. Can be debated in relevant forum. We have the merit why we have selected it. So we'll give enough forum for people to, because it's not something which will be just enforced like this. It will go through a lot of consensus building exercises. So there you can discuss it and we will produce the counter arguments. Okay. Any other question, Professor Jain?
No.
Okay. Any other question from any panelist, co-host, existing team members, state heads, unit heads? Our Dharampuri unit head has asked a question. Dharampuri unit going to merge with some other units. So as I said, in the old world order, there is a nomenclature for world, for country, for states, for city, for districts and all. So they are not even. They are unevenly organized. So once the entire world accept the Project YugParivartan as the ideal vision and are ready to do all these rejigging, wherein the peaks and the valleys of the entire world will be balanced. Because right now there is a huge gap between haves and have-nots, which has to be settled. So big country, small country concept will go away. Rich country, poor country concept will go away. Right? All these Western culture, Eastern culture, all these things will be going away, because in Kali Yuga, the world has moved towards more of Jad than Chetan. And when we move towards Jad, we embrace diversity. When we move towards Chetan, we embrace oneness. So when we are aiming to build a wise world order, golden world order, Satyuga, then we should talk about oneness. So all these units, merging, demerging, splitting, reorganization will definitely be there. Yes, Jain Saab.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we'll take this question, and after this we'll take the final question for the day, post which we will start scheduling the one-on-one conversation.
Whatever is existing today, you call it as a old world order, doesn't matter what name it's given. But in the name of the uniformity of areas, cities, countries, some may think of it as a new Jad system.
Is it a
new Jad system?
Yeah, so at any point in time, everybody is free to create their own point of view, even after listening to all the high conscious wisdom being shared through Project YugParivartan platform. So we are not here to like force it on them. We want to do the work through the pull factor. So those who get pulled through various work being done by the Project YugParivartan team, then it is fine. Otherwise, they can choose to be in the old world order. No problems at all. Because the focus right now is on Paritranaya Sadhunam as per the context of PYP. So anyone who is doing a good job towards the oneness, towards the Chetan, they all are welcome. But if they want to move towards Jad, as in the context of PYP, then it's their choice.
No,
And
I'm not saying that.
That's why.
Perhaps you are misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
The order or a system by itself is not bad. But if you restrict the system to a new system, so the new system, not myself, but many may consider that a new system is a new Jad system.
Yeah, so if you take it this way, then definitely for any change, several objections will be raised. And just like every project, no matter how small it is, for every objection, there is a response which will be provided. So having objections is not a problem, because through objections only people will clarify their doubts. So we have the response system. For every objection, we will give them the answer. We'll try to understand why they are saying so. Maybe in some of the cases they are right. So we may do the changes in the design. And in other cases, if we are right, maybe we are able to convince them by giving them more information that they have at that moment.
This is welcome. Openness is welcome.
Yeah, it's openness. That's why I'm saying that a lot of consensus building exercises will be done through various assembly sessions. Okay, so one last golden question before we end the day as well as the summit. One question, last question. First come, first serve. And if there is no question, then I would invite my colleague, Sophie Secura, to share the official vote of thanks and officially close today's summit. Over to you, Sophie.
Thank you, Hitesh. Honorable Chief Mentor Hitesh Chandel, honorable guest speakers of the day, dearest team members and our most valued audience. A pleasant greeting to this wonderful gathering. I, Sophie Sequeira, an integral team member of Project YugParivartan Synergy Platform, feel privileged to propose a vote of thanks. First and foremost, we thank the Lord Almighty who has designed and refreshed our souls with a sweet stream of blessings. Thank you, Lord. We express our gratitude to our Honorable Guruji, Chief Mentor Hitesh Chandel, for organizing such a wonderful event on this virtual platform as part of Project YugParivartan. His incredible leadership, timely and proper advice, and the flexibility in decision making has provided us with the opportunity to conduct this summit. We have been fortunate enough to have eminent speakers from different regions to share their views on the need and design of the Golden World Order or Satyug. I must mention a deep sense of gratitude for Mr. S.S. Upadhyay for bringing his vast experience and learning into this session today. We were all enriched by the deep insights about the governance systems during the various yugas and what is needed to bring back the world order to Satyug by saving it from the clutches of Kali. We need a lot more from him, and hence we would request him to join us in a dedicated webinar where we would love to have an interactive session with him. Thanks a lot, Mr. Upadhyay. Further, we are grateful to Dr. Ved Pratap Vedic ji, who even with his ill health and a need to travel, still accepted our request to enlighten us. Heartfelt gratitude to him for covering all important and burning issues of the world, a possible solution, and his own effort in implementing those solutions. It was all very inspiring. We would love to start the formal synergy meetings between your mission and the PYP Synergy platform to create a win-win situation for all stakeholders. We are with you for creating a Vishwaguru Bharat, which is our objective too. I would also like to express our sincere thanks to Brigadier Ganesham Ji for sharing the very important aspect for creating the golden age, the focused efforts towards downtrodden people in rural areas of the country. It was amazing to see that innovation can exist even in those minds where there is a deficit of basic need fulfillment for survival and those who are living in extreme poverty. You are doing phenomenal work in becoming a force multiplier to these innovations and innovators. We look forward to work with you in various villages. And last but not the least, we are indebted to our fourth speaker of the day, Dr. Ethirajan Govindrajan Ji, for presenting such an elaborate SWOT analysis for a Vishwaguru Bharat that is a dream and mission for us all. PYP Synergy platform is set up to truly make Bharat a Vishwaguru and integrate the world into one nation. We are ready to synergize with our efforts to speed up the process. A hearty gratitude to all speakers who generously accepted our invitation and shared their valuable knowledge and expertise with us. Thank you, dear sirs. I hope all participants today have gained plenty of insights into the deep subject of an ideal or utopian world order, which is needed urgently to be established before it becomes difficult for anyone to do anything substantial to save humanity from the clutches of the dark age. I hope 5 days of the summit has brought value to every participant's life. We invite all speakers and audience to join hands with PYB Synergy platform. And with this, I would like to hand over the mic to Chief Mentor Hitesh Chandel to inform the audience about how they can become part of Project YugParivartan Synergy platform. Thank you.
Thanks, Sophie, for this elaborate vote of thanks on this final day of the 5-day summit. And I would request all the panelists, all my team members to switch on their videos if they can, and have a collective applause for all the speakers and all the audience. They have energized this entire summit with all their time and, of course, a lot of energy that was put by them through questions and through various other contributions. So thanks to all of them, and special thanks to all the organizing team members who have worked relentlessly since 5 days, and the designers who have been working since several more days for creating several graphics at a very short duration. So this was really commendable, and we look forward to conduct several such summit in coming future. And maybe this may become a regular feature that on each day of the year, some summit must be happening under the banner of Project YugParivartan in India and rest of the world. So with this, we'll formally mark the closure of this Project YugParivartan Global Summit 2022. And the next step is to schedule a one-to-one meeting, a counseling meeting, a mapping meeting, for which I have shared the link already. So kindly do register, and you are all welcome to join Project YugParivartan Synergy platform. Namaskar.